3, 4.
My name is Sam, and that's not all. I got a pretty good show with my good friend Paul. So listen up to the chairman of the board. I talk to him and he talks to me. We talk a lot of shit, but you get it for free. So don't complain, these gadgets cost a lot. So now we're at the end of the song, and everybody knows what's going on. So here we have the chairman of the, yes we have the chairman of the board. Because we're bored.
Well, I don't know if that fucking deafened anyone else, but that was horrific.
Me. My heart was like that.
We're sort of playing around with trying to get the levels to work right. Even just now, it doesn't sound completely right.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, for some reason, it was really
like
I don't know what the word is. Yeah, it was. It wasn't as good as it was the first week. So we're kind of playing it. Oh, hi, welcome to the chairman of the board. With your host, Sam Vallely.
And Paul Quigley.
You'd actually think that was rehearsed, wouldn't you?
It wasn't.
Right, I don't know what's going on. See, it sounds alright when I'm close to it, but then it just sounds really far away. I don't know, we'll try putting the volume up on the mic.
We're on time this week, Sam. With the fucking carry on that we just had, we're actually on time. It's only 1 minute past 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we're on time. Well done, except we're fucking up the audio so much. This has been a nightmare.
Fucking up the dreams.
We almost didn't have a podcast this week.
No.
We came...
This was like the one that wasn't meant to be. This was like the... What was that boy called? The Omen? What was that lad's name in The Omen?
Damien.
This is like the Damien of podcasts.
It's been just... Everything's been going wrong. It started off... I had to be somewhere today doing sound stuff, coincidentally, and ended up forgetting my mic stand. So we were like, what do? We don't have a mic stand. And this was only about an hour or something before just now. So it was like 8 o'clock. We were like, couldn't find the mic stand. And alright.
Good.
Our sound coordinator thinks it sounds fine. So
sound coordinator / stationary expert.
Hopefully it will. No, we can't go check.
Sorry, Hazel.
We'll take your word for it. If you're wrong, it'll be 10 lashes.
And a punishment exercise.
A punny. You'll be getting punnied.
You have to make a transcript of the show, and we'll sell it.
I don't know. I can't imagine anyone tuning into this requiring a transcript.
Well, Americans.
I don't know. Maybe it is too loud. It sounds a bit. I don't know. I'm going to put it down just slightly because it's not.
Thanks to Stephen Jewson for giving us the... That sounds quiet to me.
I'll put the headphones down a bit.
Alright, that's alright then, Sam. That's fine. Thanks to Stephen Jewson for the spare mic stand.
Aye, Stephen Jewson, he saved the show. Much kudos, much...
That's what he said he wanted, kudos.
That's what he said he wanted. I don't know another word for kudos.
I don't even know what a kudos is. The only thing I know about it is it was on a racing game. Gotham Racing, and you got it for doing a skid. So
that's what kudos is.
So we need to go and do a skid for him or something?
Oh, I'm really bad at skids. Like on our knees.
On a what?
On our knees.
I used to be able to do them. I can't do a skid in the car. I used to do a good one on the bike. See if it was snowing. Oh, fucking should have seen me, Sam. Skid master. But after the fart jars last week, there could be some skid marks. Oh.
Right, aye, what else happened? Trying to set this shit up is not easy when you've got a computer that just takes about 10 minutes to load a web page. Like,
it sounded like a helicopter last week, Sam. It sounded like somebody was fucking hoovering next to us.
Yeah, the sound last week, I think that was partially my fault though, because I wanted it to be louder. I was like, what's that? I want more of that, and it just ended up fucking up the show. But it's audible. Like, you're able to sit and listen to it.
Definitely you can. I looked through it, but it just sounded... It wasn't crisp in that, but it was good.
I think what we'll do is, when we get a really good setting on this mixer, because that's another thing as well. We are not like sound engineers, you know. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just like, maybe try that one. Maybe that'll work. But no. So then we're going to take a picture of the. This sounds ridiculous, but we'll take a picture of the mixer when it's perfect. And then
why didn't we just pour glue on it?
When we get it to then we can't use it for anything else. What happens if one day we want that crackle? That crackle's
I
gone.
don't know. What if we need to sound old-fashioned?
What? It doesn't sound old-fashioned. I didn't hear it last week and sound, that sounds really old-fashioned. I thought that sounded shit. That sounds really bad.
What are they playing at?
What's going on? These guys trying to have a podcast, they don't even know how to turn the volume up on a microphone.
What picture did we use this week, Sam, at the start? Did we use the old one or the Hannah Ford one?
No, we used the Hannah Ford one. That's the new one. That's the official.
Is it? Oh, wow.
I think so, anyway.
That's big kudos to Hannah Ford as well. We need to come and do a skid for her.
We gave her kudos last week.
You sound a little bit further away than Paul.
I was thinking that as well. Apparently I sound a little bit further away than Paul. I was thinking that. I'll tell you what.
Is your mic on?
I don't know.
It is on. I can see a red dot.
It is on, but
that means it's
that
on.
might be better. It sounds a little bit better. But see, the thing is, my volume's already higher than yours, so I don't want to put it up any more, because then it just looks like I'm being
It sounds okay to me through my ears,
egotistical.
Sam. I mean, it sounds fine to me.
That sounds a bit better.
Full stop.
Oh, full stop. Thanks very much.
It's weird how in America they don't have a full stop; they have a period, and that's what they have, and that's the end of that. Period. And I was like, see, when I used to watch American telly, I was like, period. So is it like only for like that's the end of that for a little while, or like I didn't know what it meant, but it's period. It's like full stop. Fucking
I know what
crazy
you mean.
Americans.
It's confusing. Growing up in the UK, fed all these American TV shows, and we grew up thinking that's life. You know, I thought high school was going to be just like Saved by the Bell, and it wasn't.
Aye, I remember. I never watched Saved by the Bell. I watched someone and they were in Paris or something, and that was fucking. I quite enjoyed it, but I don't really remember if it was actually any good.
See, I want to say that it got worse as it went on,
Saved by the Bell.
but that sounds like an easy thing to say. I don't know if I actually watched much of it as it went on.
I remember that guy with the curly hair. What was his name? Zeke or Zeke? Screech. He went bankrupt or something, did he not? I don't look like him, Sam.
I was
that what
going
you're
to say
about
that.
to say?
I was going to say that, and then I thought I'm not going to say that. That's because you don't actually look that much like him. You've got a little bit of the haircut.
I've got
but,
curly hair, and that's about it. He had tight curls.
all you've got squiggles.
Mm.
You should patent that.
Patent.
That's another American. I don't know which one's which
Patent.
now. Is the patent American one or is the patent American one?
Patent. I
I
don't know. I think it's just that pronunciation.
don't know what's going on. I am sounding quite a bit further away. Oh, one sec. Was that fucking about with the gain? How's that? That's
Oh, I turned that down. Or you got
that's
to do
a
it
bit.
again.
That's a bit better.
I
That's
can
alright.
hear like more background noise when you did.
Oh,
Oh no, it's the computer, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, like everyone's probably getting fucking pissed off just now because we're like we should
We're
have
just
this
talking-
shit set
I
up.
know. But it's a rush.
Apologies. Yeah, this right. That's it. No more fucking about the sound unless someone emails in and tells
Unless
us
a bee
really
comes, and I spill my pint over it, and then we need
bad. Well, just the bee in general would fuck it up because then we'd have this hum.
to.
And what were we talking about? Screech, Saved by the Bell. I don't know if people want us to talk about
I never
that.
really watched it, Sam. I don't have much to say on it.
Do you know what? Actually, I was watching a thing the other day. I was showing my friend, and so like brought up. I hadn't seen it in a while. It was Stephen Fry talking about this weird thing that Americans do that we do, and I do as well.
What?
And it's when you sort of it's a way of talking, and it's when you you go high at the end of every question. As if
Chocolate?
oh sorry, not every question. It's as if everything's a question, but you go high at the end of every sentence.
Right, aye.
And it sounds like you're asking a question,
Mhm.
and supposedly it's like a weird defense mechanism, so that if you're somehow shown to be wrong, it's all
You
right
can go back
because you weren't stating anything, you know.
Mhm.
And so there's this weird thing that we kind of don't have much authority in our voice, and it's not that Americans don't or anything like that. It's just it seems to be an American thing that we've picked up from American culture, watching TV shows where everything.
Oh, right, aye. So
Well,
it's like a
so-
recent thing then.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, the typical American teenager in high school. My
Mhm.
name's Mindy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a cheerleader, and it's all like hi.
So she's in her head, she's like, is my name Mindy? Am I a cheerleader?
Well, no, I mean, but that's it. We're sort of now taking it as, you know, that way of talking is just kind of normal now. But it is a weird sort of unauthoritarian way of talking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something to do with being a weird sort of defense mechanism, so that if I ever say something that I'm unsure about, it's all right because I wasn't saying it as a statement, you know. And you know what? I'm bad for it. I do it myself, and I don't know how much I actually do the going high at the end, but I know I'm bad.
I feel like I'm just listening to the pattern of your voice now, Sam. I don't even feel like I know what you're saying.
Well, if I do it, tell me,
Mm-hmm.
because if I do it, I'm sure I do it, but I must do it so much that I don't realise that I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've got a weird thing as well where that's not a weird thing, it's people do it, but I'm sort of always I always say supposedly and apparently, and like I can't just because I'm so thingied about someone knows better than me, so they're going to be like, you said this, and how dare you say this? That's bullshit. And so I do this weird fucking thing where I come across as if I don't have any confidence in what I'm saying. And like I do have a lot of confidence in what I'm saying. Like I usually know what I'm talking about. Like 90% of the time I know the fucking shit that I'm talking about.
Aye.
And I'm not just sort of spitballing. Yet there's also a side to it as well of like I'm kind of open to being proven wrong about anything. Anything I've got an opinion on, I'm completely accepting that I could be proven wrong. So that's why I'm always sort of like, well, supposedly, did you hear about this? Allegedly, but I need to watch myself back, and I'm like, I need to stop doing that.
Aye.
I need to just say, this fucking happened. Deal with it.
See, I feel like I do the opposite things, because I'll be like, I heard this thing when this happened, and then I find out when I come across that I know a lot about it, that I don't really know a lot about it, and then I'm like, what else? There should be more to that. And then I turn out I don't really know a lot about what it is. But then I go on all guns blazing and pretend like I know it, but then I'm like, fuck, I don't know. What am I talking about?
You're like the yin to my yang, Paul. This is why it's a good
That's
dynamic.
how it works.
Woo!
You don't know what you're talking about, but you admit it, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm adamant that I do.
I don't know, you kind of sounded like you had a bit of an Irish accent there.
Well,
you
I
don't
look
know what
Irish.
you're talking about.
You don't know what you're fucking talking about. That was terrible.
I thought it was.
Get out now.
Get out now.
Get out. Are you out yet? Well, fucking get out then.
What was that story about the get out now?
Get out now.
Was it not Frank
it came
or
from me and
something?
Frank when we were in the flat.
Something to do with being on a chat room or something.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure Frank told me this. I might be wrong here. Allegedly, supposedly.
Maybe Alan Smart could have been involved with it. For some reason, because the
how do you
chat
pronounce
room
Alan Smart again? Nah, I don't like it. See, you want to do it, but you know the pain that it brings. Right, okay.
That was rough, Sam.
I just lost my marbles there for a second.
There was a night we were out in the pub, and me and Frank were with some guy. Like, the guy was in our group, and this guy was from Northern Ireland, and me and Frank were sitting in a wee corner, and for some, like, me and Frank had also said like, white noise, like that was how to do it. White noise. That
sounded fucking.
And that was like a Northern Irish accent, and for I don't know what reason this guy went, white noise, and me and Frank fucking burst out laughing, and he was like, it took him a while, but he knew that we were laughing at him, and he didn't know what to do. White noise. They fucking Frank's like,
was this before or after the get out now thing?
This was when Get Out Now was at its peak. Like, this was at the height of it.
Like, people are really not going to know what the fuck we're talking about.
I know.
You should maybe.
Some of them will know Frank though.
Well, yeah, but we don't. I mean, this is a worldwide podcast here, Paul.
Right.
This is people from fucking Nigeria are listening to this. Don't know why I went with Nigeria, but okay. I don't know. Frank it was something our friend Frank used to do all the time.
Why were we saying Get Out Now?
I thought it was because I thought you did an Irish accent.
Alright.
And
but I'm like 3/4 Irish.
Oh, so it's alright for you to say it? Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
Maybe
I'm
I
not
don't
allowed
know
to say it.
I don't know if I do it. I don't think I've got an Irish accent.
No, I don't think you do. It was just.
Sorry, I've
When
got
you-
a
when
bit
you
of chilli or something in my mouth. I had sweet chilli sauce there, and I can feel a bit of chilli on my tongue.
I've been eating a lot of sweet chili sauce recently, actually, because I found a new easy meal that I'll be making.
What is it?
I make noodles now.
With sweet chilli sauce.
It's like making a stir fry, but without anything else. And I just I like cook these noodles, and then I'll just like put sweet chili sauce in it, and I have that like every day for my lunch. It's awesome. It never gets boring.
Just put some meat in it or something, Sam.
Nah,
What
I
about,
don't.
like,
It's
salmon
fine.
or
It's,
something, or
it's
like
fine the
a
way it
tinny
is.
fish?
It's I don't want to touch it. I don't want to fix what ain't broken, Paul. That's another thing as well. See the way I just said that there? I don't want to fix what ain't broken. People might confuse that. That's not me talking how I'd usually talk. and people thinking that's that American thing he's like saying
Aye.
ain't like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing that in a jokey way, right? But it's weird that though, like that. Why
It's an
American
Americanism.
culture is such a big thing here,
Aye.
and like,
But it's funny because American culture came for us, like, because we went over there, like, in the olden days.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it's a branching off kind of thing, but
Aye.
they developed their own,
Fucking nuts.
sort of way of.
But you wonder how they ended up talking like that. Like, did we used to speak like that in the olden days and our language changed?
Well, it's just like if you go to Glasgow, they'll have a different,
Aye.
a slight a twang.
Uh-huh.
I'm not
folks
going
say
to
to me,
attempt a
like,
Glasgow accent, but
that I've, like, folks say that, oh, like, you're a fifer, eh? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't think I've got, like, I just think I'm, like, Scottish. Like, Glasgow's like, I know what you're talking about, man. Like, they've got a dead, like, it's really funny how they talk. Like, is that Glasgow?
I think so.
Aye.
My name's Jacqueline McCaffrey,
My name's Jacqueline McCaffrey.
and I've been on the heroin. No, is it? I've been off the heroin.
That's about 5 years. I lost 5 years of my life to the
That's it.
heroin.
That's it.
And another 7 to the methadone trying to get off it. You're better at it than me, son.
Oh, Jacqueline McCaffrey. That's funny. That's Limmy's show. You know what's weird though? That guy from Limmy's show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ever see, like, he's got his YouTube videos and stuff like that. No, he has his as well as having Limmy's show, and that being a popular thing. He's quite popular on the Vines.
Aye.
You know,
I
because
don't
he does
think he's
like.
finding some freak me out. Remember we sat and watched that half-hour one? I
Aye.
felt like I was on some kind of weird trip, and he's
It's
just
weird.
going like, he's just going, oh! And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then he's spinning around in the room, and then the next thing he's just sleeping.
I remember seeing it and thinking, Frank is gonna love this. Frank is gonna die when he sees this. If anyone is into weird fucking random shit,
I didn't. It was too much for me,
it
Sam.
was
I
too
didn't
much
like
for Paul. But YouTube, not now because you're watching us, but YouTube, Limmy's. In fact, it's not Limmy's show, is it? It's just Limmy's Vines, and you'll get like a half-an-hour video of this crazy Scottish guy just making loads of weird faces and
basically what he does.
mad noises, and it's weird though because I've watched some of his videos where he's like, it looks like he's just blogging, like he's just, if I was setting up a camera and just
Aye.
talking to my audience,
Mhm.
it's like that, but it's weird because like the way he talks, you don't know if he's just being himself, if he's being serious, or if he's like taking the piss.
Mhm.
He made this video on like the French or something and why we shouldn't hate the French, and I'm like kind of hanging around for the punchline. I'm thinking, I don't get it. I don't know if this is he's trying to be funny and it's maybe
Aye.
not going up, or if this is him being serious,
Uh-huh.
because it's like the same voice.
Mhm.
And there was other one he did as well, and it's just quite funny. It was the thing where it was, what was the line? It was there was a line. He goes, if someone comes up to you and tries to tell you something, and you say to them, I think you're getting me confused with someone who gives a fuck.
Mhm.
He goes, you know that line? You know, you hear it in movies, in American films as well. Like, I think you're getting me confused with someone who gives a damn, or whatever. And he goes, I think I made that up.
Right, aye.
Now, that's really funny, right? Because I think we've all sort of had that moment where, like, at one point, where there's a line or something that, I know I've had it, where I'm like, did I make that up?
Aye.
I'm sure I came up with
Uh-huh.
that. And so I don't know if he's doing a parody of that whole thing that people do,
Mhm.
or if he's being serious and he's not expecting us to be on the other end laughing.
Mhm.
So it's weird. I don't know if anyone knows if he's joking or if he's being serious. Do phone in, do text in to
Aye.
whatever the fucking.
Our phone calls were successful last week. 3 callers. That was
Aye.
good.
No, it was good. We're only 20 minutes in, but if you
I
want to
wasn't
phone in
saying
at 10 o'clock, no, just it reminded me.
Aye.
If you want to phone in 10 o'clock, chat
What's the
us about
Skype name, Sambo?
anything. What is the Skype name? It's just all one word. Is
It's
it?
just chairman of the board. It's all one
Chairman of the board, all one word.
word. We are the chairman of the board.
And oh, do you know what I was thinking about doing last week?
What?
And I totally fucking forgot.
Why don't you tell me?
Do you know I was showing you that Pomodoro thing? And you
Aye.
had
I
Brian's.
forgot the name of that, and I tried to do a couple of them during the week, and I just kept calling it the tomato challenge because I remembered that it was tomato in Italian.
That's all you need, the tomato challenge. That's probably a thing as well. It's probably a completely different thing. But I remember thinking, what I should do is, I should, like, because if Brian ever sees this, I could
who's
say
Brian?
to him,
Oh, the guy that did the
Brian,
song?
yeah, Brian, he's the guy that did the song. I could say, guess what, right? You're watching this, right? So it could be any time, you know? I'm not going to tell him to watch it, and no one else is going to tell him to watch it, but he probably would end up seeing it eventually. So I was going to throw out a challenge, some Pomodoro challenge, do an intro for us.
Right.
Right? And
25 minutes.
That's kind of, you've got 25 minutes from go, and it's
Right.
25 minutes. I was going to do that last
and
week.
then play it on the show
Yeah.
or Skype.
Yeah, well, it'd be our new intro, if it's any good. Might be shit. I'm just
so
trying
we
to
need to be watching it.
I'm just trying to put the pressure on him now. So it's
So
good.
what if he's not watching it? Oh, fucking Tim, that's too confusing to think about.
It might be a couple of years or something before he gets round to seeing this. But
So
when he does,
every week we need to ask him, just in the hope that
No,
in
no,
25
no,
minutes he phones
no.
in.
I was saying I was gonna issue that challenge last week and I forgot about it, but I've essentially just done it. So
What if he does phone in 25 minutes? Maybe we should
no,
ask him
he won't.
every
He's
week.
He's not watching tonight. I would highly doubt that.
Maybe Ryan Green's working on it just now.
Maybe Ryan Green,
Number
Pomodoro,
one fan.
25. I've got he's got enough time before he has to phone in. If he phones in if he's watching this,
He'll be freaking out now. Just chucking stuff about the house and that.
he was like, "Think, Ryan, think."
I was already trying to fucking think of a confusing question for them that they didn't care anything about. They need to write a song as well.
I hope he does have a
What's
question
his
for us.
girlfriend's name?
Ashley.
Ashley! Go on, man.
Everybody heard that. Man, we need to get some fucking soft coasters up in here. This is like
I know.
thumping down on me here.
We should put like a rubber mat on the desk.
Let's not get sexual, Paul. I don't know why I said that.
It's too early for that, Sambo.
You've got notes today.
Aye, I've got previous notes, but I got a note actually. I put up a thing the other day saying, do you want to questions, and I got a thing from Frank. Frank had a thing in.
I seen this. Was this about the Yorkshire
Aye,
Terrier?
something about a dog.
Guess what? Went about fucking 10 minutes before I saw that post about the dog. I'd seen an article about fucking North Korea,
See the amount of North Korea
I
things that
know.
I've seen since.
but to do with fucking Yorkshire Terriers.
Really?
Aye, they're putting them in zoos
Why?
because it's fucking North Korea. I don't know.
Right?
That was all I read, and I thought that was enough.
This is Panda.
I don't think they're trying to pawn it off as anything else, but it's just like, what the fuck? They're putting the again, supposedly, allegedly. If that's not a true story, then feel free to correct me. But that's hilarious if it's
We're
true.
getting loads of corrections, Sam. I think we should just make assumptions.
Yeah,
Don't take anything we say as fact.
but then what if we do have a fact? Then we'll shot ourselves in the foot. And then what? Oh yeah, do you watch the Chairmen of the Board podcast? Yeah, I love that show. It's full of
Fact.
assumptions.
It's full of assumptions.
Number one podcast as far as assumptions go, anyway.
Number one Scottish podcast. We try our best. That's funny.
I feel like we should throw Stephen Dura another kudos out there. Just one,
Kudos.
maybe one every 10 minutes. Because like seriously, if we didn't have this fucking thing, I'm never doing a podcast where I'm sitting holding it. That's not happening.
You would drop
So-
it or something and deafen everybody.
I mean, it's 2 hours.
I know.
I was fannying about with it, trying to like think how can I get this to sit on something, and just wasn't happening.
You could have like loads of things stacked up and just had it propped and don't fucking touch the table.
Little house of
And you'd be
books,
sitting like that, a house of books.
and I'll be like, yeah, go on, Paul. Fucking yeah. So we managed to secure a microphone. But do you know what? This is actually better than my microphone. I may just keep this.
You can just give Stephen Juicing your old
Yeah,
microphone
I'll
stand.
just give him old one.
Aye, do you want to talk about Frank's thing about a dog?
If you want.
I'm trying to fucking find it. My Facebook's that
It
confusing.
was
Sam.
basically he was saying that some woman
Oh aye,
was outside a shop
aye.
or something.
Outside the shop, there was a wee boy going in with his mum or gran, and there was a dog tied up outside the shop, a Yorkshire Terrier apparently, and the wee boy went to try and clap the dog, and the woman said no, don't touch that dog or something. And then he was saying, is that fucking kids up? Because they're like, don't touch the dogs, and then this kid's got some weird irrational fear of dogs. She said, like, apparently Grandma says to the boy, no, that's bad, you're not to touch doggies. And then Frank's question is the parent ruining the kid's perspective of dogs for the rest of his life? And then Hannah Ford says, nut, terriers are wanks. So, I mean...
kind of ends the conversation there.
What's that ringing?
Oh shit! Forgot to mute the. See, we were running.
It's alright. It's alright.
We're gonna have to turn off the notifications.
I don't know if it does. I mean, but like I never trust a dog outside a shop for some reason. You don't know what they're going to do.
That's it. It's weird. I don't know if it's this weird perception thing though. Like, you know, because I mean, I never had a dog growing up. So,
but are you wary around dogs?
Not really, but I'm not. But only because I've saw other people who had dogs, and so I've been around them to a certain extent. So I think at one point in my life I understood, like that. Pardon me. That kind of hesitation, like that could be a wild dog, and whereas now I think I'm sort of more like the chances of it are kind of slim. I don't know.
It would depend. For me, I think it would depend on the type of dog. If it was a scruffy looking dog, I'd be like, don't touch it.
Well, if it looks like it's got something wrong with it, like
aye.
you know, a droopy eye or something like.
Aye,
but I don't know. But I think I more often than not would go and clap it and stuff. But this is kind of getting away from Frank's question, which is like, is
she fucking the kid up?
You know what? She might well be. But
aye.
Think about it's all about perspective as well. Like if there's vegetarianism is a good argument for like either side of that coin would argue, you know, if you're feeding your kid meat, vegetarians would say you're fucking that kid up.
That's true.
Yeah, if you deprive the kid meat, everyone else would say you're fucking that kid up. So it's completely
like that woman could just be a cat person.
What's that?
She could just be a cat person.
Yeah. Now wait a minute, just before anyone sort of shoots me down and say, oh no, you're wrong though, because there's facts on the side. There probably is a right and a wrong answer here. I don't know what it is. I get told so many different things on either side, and I just kind of feel like it's not really my argument. I'm just using it as an example, so don't take that the wrong way. But you know what I mean? It's this type of thing where no matter what you like, you cannot raise the perfect child.
And no matter what you do, somebody's got to disagree with it.
Yeah.
Like I heard about a thing that was it was a thing I seen on Reddit, and it was just like a picture of this couple, and it was saying this couple denied their child medication because they thought they could heal the child through prayer, right? And that was what they thought, and like that was right in their minds. But then they're like, well, if they think, and the child died, they realised he died, but they're like, well, why is the mum wearing glasses? Like, could you not have just prayed for her sight to get better? Yeah. And it's just like, everybody just, like, there's, like, obviously that's fucking wrong what they did, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think what we've done though is got together and said, alright, but it's not a free-for-all, like, we're going to have some basic human rights, and so that's why you're not allowed to, you know, abuse your child, and if it's depriving them healthcare, then, you know, that'd be argued as abusing them. And so, if that child has... You know, although, see, this is the weird thing as well. People think that if they have children, that they own that child, and it's like it's not an ownership thing. Like, you're there to look out for them, and if society deems that you're not fit to do that, society will step in. And
you're right.
We'll have our avenues to go down for that. But when people get into this thing, like, see, when I see people like hitting their kids and stuff as well, like, it drives me fucking mental.
And you're a wrestler, Sam. So.
But you know what I mean? It does though. Like, I can't. I find it. See, if I'm like in the supermarket and stuff like that, because people do. They think this is my child, and it's weird. The mentality. It's like an ownership thing. And it's like, no, you don't have.
I hate
like,
to be some fucking treat their kids.
You're a guardian for that child, and the only reason that the rest of society isn't kicking the fuck out of you is because we are allowing you to be a guardian and a responsible person. This isn't a child that you own. You don't get to do whatever the fuck you want with it. And a lot of people don't even realise. Like, well, I'm guessing because I think it goes on quite a bit. People don't even realise you're not allowed to hit your kids. It's illegal. It's illegal to hit your kids. And so...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I just think some folk are fucking useless parents. Like, I was in Tesco's the other day, Sam, and I seen this woman and she was standing on her phone, right, and she had a wee girl. I mean, the lassie must have been about 3 or something like that, and she was on one of them leash things, right, and she was standing right to a fucking, like, a shelf end, and they had, like, all phone covers on it, and obviously all these phone covers are like, all bright and that, and she's standing there, like, the phone like that, the kid in this hand, and the kid's trying to, like, play with the phone covers because they're bright colours. She's like, leave it, and just, like, kind of moved a bit, like, didn't even really move at that, and she's like, stop it, and this fucking went on. I was like, are you serious? Like, either fucking walk away or just, like, pay your child some attention. Like, she's obviously fucking bored. Like, the husband was on the phone just leaning over trolley, fucking fat waste of space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's weird, actually.
Stop it.
What do you think about, like, and I don't know, I'm not 100% either way, but it seems like it might be a good idea to have, like, some sort of mandate where if you've got a child, if you're going to be a parent, you'd have to attend some sort of, like, I mean, people go to, like, Lamaze classes and stuff like that. Aye. And, I mean, I don't think that's a requirement. I think they kind of just go if they want to go. But as far as, like, anyone can just go out and have a kid, it seems. Like, shouldn't there be some sort of place, and even if it's a voluntary place, but at least have somewhere set up where people can go and learn how to talk to their children, how to because otherwise you're just fucking raising little monsters. Because a lot of
folk didn't know, Sam. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. And I mean, I didn't know. I remember years ago, I was sort of like, and again, I'm not setting ways, like, but my idea was, oh, you're supposed to hit them. Right. That's what I used to think years ago, because I didn't know any better. Why
would you know though?
But I thought it was all like just a basic. Conditioning was like just basic. You know, if they steal something, you hit them, because then you're telling them don't steal again. But looking at it from that psychological conditioning point of view, it's not like the kid goes into the supermarket and like thinks about stealing, but then goes, no, the hits, I can't take the hits. Like the fucking the hits do nothing. All it does is teach you something that you maybe shouldn't do,
or just fucking don't get caught.
It's a bit jumpy, apparently. What's that? No, there's no windows up or anything. See,
could just be an internet thing here though. I just see my hair there, Sam. I don't know what it's doing.
So apparently the video's a little bit jumpy. We're really going to have to switch to using a different computer, because this is...
If only there was such a thing, eh, Sam?
Well, we don't have the... I didn't want to brag about it.
Well,
I don't want to seem like an asshole. But no, we've got a better computer sitting there that we're going to probably be using soon. We just... It doesn't come with a microphone input, if that's a hint as to what it is. So yeah,
people pick up the geeks on Sam.
But yeah, so I mean, what was I talking? So I don't know, people raising their kids and all that stuff. It's such a touchy issue as well, because like
you can't say to anybody you're a bad parent because
no.
fucking
everybody.
Some folk are shocking parents.
That's the most defensive you'll ever get, like questioning someone's.
Aye.
You know. Even if they're a fucking,
aye,
you know, a junkie who's like walking down the street just out of it, and you go like, I think you're a bad parent. What? Like they wouldn't be able to no one can take that kind of criticism.
I know.
But it's true though. Like people, a lot of times don't know what they're doing, and I'm saying I understand it because I used to be wrong about it, and I used to think, well, you hit them. That's conditioning, but it's not. It doesn't work like that. And because all you do is anytime you hit your child, you're teaching them this is what you do whenever someone's bad. Whenever there's bad behaviour, this is how you react. You hit them. And then they go to school and they end up getting in a fight with someone, and what do? You tell them you're bad for hitting, and you hit them again. Like, you know, so but I don't blame people for not knowing that, because you're never really told that. Like, I mean, I don't know, are you ever told that? You ever told that, like, no. In school? Not that you shouldn't hit other people, you're told that, but when are you ever told if your kid's bad, don't hit them? Because you see them in the supermarket, people just think that's what you do with your kids. You hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like, I never knew like it was a legal thing. I know that it was like everybody's like, oh, is smacking bad and all this kind of stuff, and then folk are like falling against that. I never knew it was illegal. Like, it's not like I don't do it at all, Sam. Like,
I'm only aware of it being illegal through conversations with other people. So again, allegedly, but as far as I know, it's illegal. You're not allowed to. I always thought it'd be funny to if you're in the supermarket, if you see someone hitting their kid, go up to them and say, like, if it's a woman, right? Let's say, and you go up to them and you say, "Oh, wait, come on, you're quite small. Let me do it. Let me. I'll be able to hit him harder." Like, what would they say? Like, you know, let me do it. Let me do. I can really get a good punch in there.
I'm a wrestler.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah. So it's a weird one though, because like I say, there's a lack of education with it, and I don't know, to a large degree though, I think it's understandable.
It's just like they just have a kid and then they've got the kid and they don't get any. This is what you do with it.
Yeah,
like if you're getting a pet at PetSmart, you get told how to feed it and water and all this kind of stuff.
So there's more.
I'm not comparing kids to a fucking hamster, but you know what I mean.
No, but it's all about whether or not the education's. I mean,
like you can buy books and stuff like that, but that's if you want to go and do it. Like that's not a necessity.
I mean, there is a thing as being fit to be a parent, like you know, but I don't know to what degree that's illegal. You know, thing like before you've had any kids.
You hear about folk getting the kids seized off them before they even had the kid as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had a kid taken off you, and then you end up having more kids after that, do they just then take them, because if they're declaring that you're not fit to be a parent, did they then take those kids off you as well, like instantly, or is it? I mean, what's the deal with that?
That's what I heard. Like they can seize kids before they've been born. Like I don't know what I was watching. It was Loose Women or something I was watching, and which isn't about what I thought it was about, Sam. Let me tell you. So don't even fucking waste your time on Loose Women. But
what did you think it was?
What do you think? Loose Women.
Oh,
I didn't know why it was on in daytime, right enough. I just thought there was a mistake in programming.
I thought you were meaning. I thought it was going to be really good. Like you understood the premise, you were just let down with the content.
Good it was. But they were talking about. I don't know if it was them. It might have been this morning. But they were saying about kids being taken away before they were basically born. Like they had the. Like social worker, whoever had the rights to just come and take these kids.
I'm sure it happens, but then that's a whole fucking.
But that I mean that's like that parent's got previous, like they've been like a drug addict, they've got other kids in care. They don't have rights to see the other kids and stuff like that. It's not just like their first child. Yeah,
but then I mean, do you agree with someone getting their kid taken off them if they're a drug addict? If that's like just on that, because you do get functioning drug addicts. I mean, you get it would depend
to what level, to be honest with you, Sam. I mean, like if it was just somebody that like maybe every once in a while sat and had a wee joint, it wouldn't bother me so much. But if it was somebody that was smacking up every night,
well, this is what I was going to say though. There's a teacher who is a functioning heroin addict. I don't know his name, but I think he's from kind of around this area. He's a functioning heroin addict, and then you have to say, well, what's wrong then? Yeah. If he's functioning, if he's all right, if he's fine, if it's his hobby or whatever that he does and he can maintain it.
Hobby.
And you know what I mean though?
Sam.
But what I mean though is he's not doing it every single day. He's not going into the classroom smacked out his face. It's just something he copes with or whatever you want to call it on a weekend. If it's not affecting anything related to his work, it's unfair to then speculate and just say, well, because he's a drug addict, therefore inevitably he's going to fuck them up eventually, so we can't have him. I don't think... I mean, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. And if someone's a drug addict and they're, comes out, but then there's like here's an example as well. Like, there's this guy who's a teacher for like 40 years.
Different guy.
I think this was in America, and he was doing a live lecture, right? And during the lecture, it was still being broadcast. I think the lecture finished, and it was still being broadcast. And then he went onto his laptop.
I've heard this.
Yeah. And on the projector screen, up came whatever it was, you porn.
Blue movies.
Yeah. And now there was no one actually in the hall, but it was like obviously whoever was watching it online could see what this guy was doing. And so they've had to, like, I'm not sure what they've done, if they're dealing with it or they have dealt with it, and I'm pretty sure he got, like, kind of sacked for it.
Aye.
If that's the case, then you think about that. Like, right, okay, he fucked up and he made a human error, but this is a guy with 40 years experience of being a teacher. And if he's been a teacher for that long, he's probably a good one. Like, he's probably stuck around because
I think you're
he's
going to say
alright.
if he's been a teacher for 40 years, he's probably had a wank in the classroom.
I mean, the guy's probably had a wank in the class. We're not going to just... But my point is, though, like, you know, are you really willing to give up this guy who's got all this experience teaching kids, no complaints as far as him teaching, just after... when he was almost... I mean... He was in his own free time, you know. Technically, probably not. He's probably still under school hours and all that stuff and shouldn't have been doing it. But, do you know what I mean? Like, if he didn't do it there, I'm sure he'd have done it on his phone, he'd have went to the toilet or something. Like, you know, and then you think, well, is he the only one in existence that did this? Probably loads of them.
Not.
There's probably loads of them, like, they'll go for a bathroom break and then take their phone in and do whatever. Now, cause one guy got caught, are we then going to, you know, just get rid of him? I mean, it's kind of weird that we're that uptight as a society. Like, you know?
Aye, it is. Like, it's just a human... I don't know if it'd be a human right, like, he has the right to kind of get a bit fruity with himself in the classroom, but, like, it's, do you know what I mean? It's not like a...
No,
it's
do you know what, right?
An instinct, not a human instinct.
The school's got a right to do whatever they want in that circumstance, right? I guess. But it's just the fact that when, I mean, yeah, you've got a right to say to them, well, you got caught doing this, and therefore they chuck him out. But it just seems like, do they have to do that? Are they doing it of their own accord, or are they thinking this is going to get all out and we're worried about the bad press?
Yeah.
I mean, are they thinking about it as human beings, or are they thinking about it as, like, institutions? And then it's just like, it's all a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Like, do you think the people that were, like, deciding that, like, there'd be, like, a guy trying to make up this guy's fate, he's like, well, I'll look at porn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not gonna think about it.
No,
he's not even gonna.
He's just thinking about the name, and
I was gonna say he's not even gonna think about what the guy's name is. He's gonna think about the reaction of all the other people.
That's what I was meaning, like the school's name in that.
Yeah, that's it, and that comes first. And of course, you can understand why that is, but it's just a bit.
Like, they couldn't be like, imagine if it was like imagine this, like, we had, like, the same frame of mind as we did, like, maybe 20 years ago, and it was just like, fucking Johnny was caught looking at porn in there. Was he? Dirty bastard. And that would be it. End of. Yeah,
well, there's a woman, an MP, I think. She's campaigning to bring back the belt or something like that.
Aye.
In the classrooms. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about that to go into it, but there is something I want to say while we're talking about...
I had another thing about a teacher.
Alright, go ahead.
It was a thing on... Was it this morning? I think it was Lorraine or something like that.
What are you watching?
I didn't watch morning telly, but it's on in the mornings, eh?
What was it? The Angry Beaver? What was it? No, what was the... Sorry, Angry Beavers? No, it's not called that.
Loose Women.
Loose Women.
Angry Beavers.
No, sorry.
Imagine if it was called that.
no, sorry, that was a...
That's fucking ridiculous.
That was... Someone called it that one time, and I thought that was what it was called for ages.
The Angry Beavers. Okay. That's quite funny. So.
Forget about it. Aye, Loose Women. So I was going to make a joke about you watching that, and then, like, this isn't it, like, this morning? This is... But that joke's gone now. That's fucking ruined.
Angry Beavers.
Oh, sorry, go on.
It was something about some teacher apparently was found out that she'd been sellotaping her pupils' mouths shut, right? And this story got blown up, and apparently, like, what actually happened was, like, the kids were having a fucking riot in class, like, making loads of noise and all this kind of stuff, and kind of being little arseholes. And she got them to play hide and seek to keep them quiet. And then some of the kids sellotaped each other's mouths up, like, between themselves. Like, she wasn't in it today with it, but then it came out that, like, somehow this got found out. Like, I don't know, somebody went into the classroom and seen this, and then she was like, like, they're playing hide and seek, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and then everybody was like, you fucking what? You're sellotaping people's mouths up. Like, no, it went from, like, why were the people's mouths sellotaped up? You sellotape people's mouths up, and it's in the fucking papers. Like, she's been sellotaping their mouths up.
That's why it's so important to really know what's going on before you start making assumptions
Jump
and things
to conclusions.
And this is the thing that I was going to actually try and bring this back to something I wanted to bring up. and it was to do with last week. I had a little bit of...
Pardon?
Pardon. I said something last week that had a little bit of a reaction from some people from.
Did it? Oh, you did, aye.
It was about the Lee... What's his name? Lee Rigby?
Right, aye, yes.
Thing. And looking back on it, yeah, I'm not saying it does come across like this, but I can understand why it can be perceived as I'm sort of trying to justify what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who doesn't know, it was these two Muslim guys on the streets of whatever it was,
London City.
right? Okay, London City. They stabbed this Lee Rigby. You probably know the story. I don't know why I'm trying to explain it. Look up if you're not aware of it. But so I was sort of explaining the mentality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Who, like, and this kind of always comes across whenever you try and look into the causes of actions.
Yeah.
It can come across like I'm trying to justify.
Aye, it can be easy to perceive you as being wrong.
Yeah.
Not as in, but you know what I mean.
But it's like
taking their side.
Taking their side, trying to justify.
Yeah,
and it's not that. It's I'm trying to understand the motivation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a different thing. And so I've got a story as to why I'm sort of like that. Like, because I used to be reactionary as well and be like, it doesn't matter what the fucking reason is. These two guys killed him. Fuck
Fucking
them.
Muslims again.
Yeah, right.
Fucking Muslims.
But I sort of do appreciate the motivation, and
Yeah.
I'll say why.
And you go, Sam.
So there's this story about a guy. There was two guys. I'm sure this is the guy called Albert Fish, and he basically took children. I'll post all this on the.
You're supposedly, you're doing it every week, Sam.
Well, the thing is, there's two guys. There's two different guys. And there's two different stories about them. But
Right, okay.
I'm sure this is Albert Fish. This guy's called the story that I'm gonna tell. So this was years ago, I think, in America, and he would basically take kids into the woods and cut them up, right? And the reaction to that was, who cares what the justification was? There wasn't a justification that anyone was looking for. They were looking for the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for what gave him the reasons to do it, not to justify what he did, but to understand what he did, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the people, you know, you get mob mentality, you get reactionary gut reaction, like, fuck these people, they deserve to die, they don't deserve to live.
Aye.
You take a life, you deserve to die. And I largely understand that, right? So, but what I'm saying, what happened with this guy was, the reaction was, kill him, that's it, he's getting hung, whatever. But a psychologist, or the equivalent of, or whatever it was, came along at the time and he said, wait, before we do that, let me talk to him, because I want to try and understand why he was doing all this. I want to ask him about it.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck? And the most simplistic way of discarding anything is just use these base things like evil, saying people are evil.
Mm-hmm. Good, bad, black, white.
Yeah, it's yeah, the world's black and white. It's really simple. It's either the good or the bad. And so what happened was, and I mean, from my personal point of view, I don't believe that there is such a thing as good and bad. I think it's all conditional. It's all based upon, now, obviously within the context that we're in.
Yeah. Killing
someone is not a good thing. I'm not saying that at all. See, this is where it gets confusing because we're using these language. But what I'm saying is, okay, let me step back. There is such a thing as like, you can look at something and say that was good behaviour, that was bad behaviour.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, there's not such a thing as a person who is born bad.
Good or bad, aye.
There's not. Yeah, it's all conditionable, and I don't think as well that people see themselves as being bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is anyone out there. You point to all the serial killers throughout time, and Charles Manson. Well, I say Charles Manson, who didn't actually kill anyone, but that's a whole different issue. But you know, I mean, all these serial killers, right? We sort of point to them and say he's evil, and that kind of doesn't really mean anything. It's like, it doesn't, it's not that he's just an evil person. And the thing is, does he see himself as being evil?
No.
But
they always see as like they've got a cause or something like that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
And they may be completely misguided, but it's just a separate issue about people don't ever see themselves as being good or evil.
Yeah.
So I think there's always a way to kind of talk someone down off the building, if you know what I mean. There's always a way to use communication to the advantage and to alleviate having anyone, you know,
Mm-hmm.
die or whatever it is. But the thing with Albert Fish, right, before we move on, so it was, he's going into the woods hacking up these kids, and so this psychologist guy came along and he said, you know, let me speak to him. So they let him speak with them. I don't know how long it was he spoke with them,
Yeah.
but after a while it came out that this Albert Fish guy, his mum was a religious nut job.
Right.
And one time when he was about, I think he must have been about 10 or 11, right? She walked in on him masturbating, right? And she went absolutely nuts at him, like, you know, that's the most sinful thing you can do. You will go to hell. And people, when we throw this out here, like, I don't know what it's like for people in other countries and things like that, but for me, like, I can't conceive of hell being a real place. It's too fanciful for me, but I know that people do. People do think of
People
it as
buy it.
being a legitimate, real place where not only they're going to go, but all their loved ones and all that. It's the most scariest thing that, you know, you could invent as
Mhm.
far as psychology goes, right? So, so he was told you'll go to hell, and it's not an off the cuff thing. That's a serious, like, threat. You know, you'll go to hell if you do that.
Yeah.
So, and because the way he was brought up, he really fucking believed it. And so, what do you think he did then? You can't, you know, he's trying to fight these urges,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so he developed all these, like, complicated psychological relations between him and his genitals. And supposedly his mum walked in one time, he was screaming. She came in and he was absolutely screaming. She ran through, what's wrong? And he'd stuck pins in his genitals
Mm-hmm.
to try and stop the feeling that he was getting.
We're not loose women, Sam. You can say balls and dicks and stuff
No,
like
no.
that.
Well, I'm saying I don't know exactly what points were doing what, but so it's just, you know what I mean. But so then after, of course, that happened, and he grows up with this fucked up mentality that you're not allowed to touch down there,
Mm-hmm.
and so he started taking kids into the woods, and not just hacking them up, like was said earlier, hacking off specific bits, right? He thought, from his point of view, he thought he was saving these kids.
Mm-hmm.
He thought that although they might suffer in this life and whatever, he thought he was saving them from hell, which is worse than any sort of punishment in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
So, from his point of view, as fucked up as it sounds, he genuinely thought that he was a good guy,
Aye.
that he was like some sort of saviour, that
Mhm.
he was doing the good. Now the thing is, you can't look at every psychologist and dig deep into their past and find everything that made them that way. But I guarantee you there's something, right?
Mhm.
There's something
Aye.
where they're on a righteous path.
Everybody's got a trigger, Sam.
Yeah, and I'd rather try and understand that, so that later on, when, you know, conversations come up, it becomes a part of, you know,
Mm.
our way of thinking. I'd rather people understood what was going on and did their best to try and defer it, you know, with a
Mhm.
conversation, because it's far too easy just to say he's a bad guy or he's whatever.
Yeah.
Now, understanding why the people, the Lee Rigby case, understanding why they did it.
I forgot we're talking about that, Sam. Aye,
Well,
aye.
it was just because I was sort of trying to say that. Now the fact is they are Muslims,
Mhm.
right? So it's easy to not dig any deeper than that. It's easy to just say these are Muslims. This is what Muslims do.
Mhm.
They
Muslims,
hate
aye.
anyone else who isn't a Muslim,
Mhm.
right? And I'm going to say, like, and it's controversial, but I largely sympathise with that
Mhm.
point of view.
Mhm.
And it's not that I'm this anti-Islamic Muslim hate or anything like that. I'm against all religions,
Yeah, right, aye.
and I just am.
Mhm.
And so I completely understand when people get furious and when they sort of attack Muslims as a whole.
But some people take it irrationally. Like, I think you're looking at it as a whole, as in you don't really give any religion like credibility to a degree. You don't, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I'll always give the benefit of the doubt, though.
Aye, but
Right.
you're not like, well, is there a God? Do you know what I mean?
No, but this is the thing, though. If I'm speaking to a religious person, I'm not going to tell them there's not a God.
Aye.
I'm going to say, convince me, tell me, explain to me, and I'll.
But I can see what you're saying. I think some people are very narrow-minded about the whole Muslims or Muslim equals terrorist kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
it's weird, and it's a weird sort of thing that plays out because I dislike a lot of Muslim values, right? And that's such a controversial thing to say, right? And people immediately assume that I'm talking about something to do with terrorism. I'm not talking about terrorism. I'm talking about the social hierarchy between genders.
I disagree with that.
I'm talking about views on homosexuals. And I'm not tarring everyone with the same brush or anything like that, but this is a conversation about
Muslims. But there's plenty of religions and cultures that have got the same ideals and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
And that's my point. It's not, the only thing is, a lot of the religions, I've kind of, like, Muslims sort of one of the newest ones in terms of history, like, so it's almost like they're still in their rebellious teenager phase,
right,
where they're trying to establish themselves as a religion. And this is a whole big other conversation that there's probably, it doesn't matter who's watching it now, there'll be people offended, but this is my point though, is as soon as you start talking about Muslims, people link it to certain things.
Aye, they do,
and
definitely.
they don't assume that you're talking about anything to do with gender inequality or how they view homosexuals or if they
think
want
9/11.
Yeah, they think there's two things. There's terrorism and racism, which is just it's the craziest thing that racism gets even brought up, because okay, the vast majority of Muslims are of a particular race, but that's completely irrelevant. Like, the vast majority of Muslims are a particular race.
Yeah.
What did I say there?
Muslim.
Sorry. The vast majority of Mormons, right, are a particular race.
Yeah.
They're Caucasian, right? But if you start saying something about imagine you had Richard Dawkins on a TV show and he's talking about Mormons and how crazy Mormons are, and someone goes, "That's racist." Like, let's look at all Mormons. They're all white. How dare you tar the white race and make a thing about race? No one's saying anything about race. No. And of course, I'm bringing it up now, but that's because it's such a pervasive thing. I was watching this video. This guy was on this TV show. And
Sam, I feel like you're going wild on that tangent's fucking everything here. But keep going though.
I'll finish up with this because then we're going to take calls. If anyone wants... I actually thought that was a thing. If anyone wants to call in, we'll be taking calls in about 3 minutes. Although there's a 20-second delay, so 2.5 minutes.
And mute your YouTube volume because it fucks it up.
Just I want to end on this because people will be throwing out all sorts of accusations about my positions on Muslims and why I'm wrong before I even really said anything. But I was watching a thing where this guy's on a TV show and he's in the audience, and he starts talking about Muslims, and people in the audience go, "This guy's a bigoted racist," right? And I thought, I believed him. I thought, all right, okay, he's a bigoted racist. And then I'm believing the people that are there on the panel, and he's kind of calm about it, and he says, "But can you explain to me why it is I'm a racist?" And then the people on the panel were kind of obnoxious, and they're like, "Oh, we don't need to explain anything. You are a racist. Why are you racist? Because you're a racist. You're a bigoted racist." And again, I'm pro giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Aye.
Okay, when they said he's a racist, I thought everyone knew this, and I thought he was a self-admitted racist. I thought this is the scenario that I was about to watch. But then when he said, "I'm not racist, can you tell me why?" And then I thought, all right, they're gonna quote him, or they're gonna rub something in his face, but they never did that. They just said you're a racist because you're a racist. And then I was like, what? And then I thought, then they went to people in the crowd, and I thought someone in the crowd will say something like, "Well, do you not remember you said this?" And they'll quote him and how showing how he was racist. And then that didn't happen. And then I'm kind of like, then I'm getting annoyed with this program because I'm like, you can't just call someone a racist. Have me as the viewer accept that.
Aye. Because then it immediately tarnishes racist.
Yeah.
Like, fucking that guy's a racist.
And their only justification seemed to be, now if there's anything about him being a racist that I'm unaware of, what's his name? It's the fucking EDL guy.
Aye, Tom, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Do you know what, Sam? See, when you're telling that story, I was like, somebody said to me, talk about the EDL So I think
yeah?
we should talk about that next week because
Yeah.
because I watched a thing about it, right? And he's this English guy. And he's kind of against, like, basically he's against Muslims coming into our country and forcing their rights upon us. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to respect their rights, and we need to do this and we need to do that, and they're allowed to like wear like a full face mask on a driving license, and nobody questions it. Like if me or you went in with that, they're like no. But like if somebody with a burqa went in, they'd be like, well, you can wear that because it's on religious rights. And he's against this because he's like they're coming into this country like we're letting them. Like I'm not made my mind up on him. He's saying they're coming into our country and they're forcing our rights upon us. But then I was like watching it and he's talking about this and I'm like, is he racist? And I'm like, I don't know if it is, because he's not saying anything racist. Like to somebody that didn't really think about it, they would be like, they could quickly say
this
a racist, but there's not. I'm like, I don't know why he's a racist. Like he does.
Yeah,
it's facts what he says.
This is my thing with it. Is I watch him and
Tommy someday.
He's really easy to, like, if you just hear him talking.
Yeah.
And you can tell kind of where the area where he's from.
He's like a London boy.
It seems like it's really easy to just dismiss him or just dislike him or judge him.
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, Tommy Robinson. That's it. So it seems like it's really easy just to go, that guy's a fucking wanker.
Aye.
Like, that seems like the urge that you go towards. So this is why I'm always like, I'm always sympathetic towards the thing that I feel sort of drawn towards. Mm-hmm. Immediately, I just dislike that. So then I'll stop and say, wait, why do you dislike that? Why you really have to sort of answer these things to yourself, because otherwise you do end up doing what they're accusing us of doing. Mm-hmm. Whenever I talk about Islam or Muslims, you get the word the racism thing comes up, and you get like I've lost friends by talking about Muslim, not even saying anything bad, just talking about it. Mm-hmm. Like, it gets immediately like, you're racist. Yeah. And it's like, what?
Because you question it. Like I knew, like, was she a Muslim? And what? But I never was like, what? Like, I would ask her questions about it, but only out of my personal interest. I was like, well, why? When does this happen? Like, what does this mean? And like, I'd ask her, and she would tell me about all these, like, kind of how men are treated differently in our culture. And I wasn't like, well, that's bullshit. I was like, oh, like, I found it interesting, but like, you get some people that are very close-minded about it. Like, an example is like, no, you're saying like a lot of people would, somebody was like Muslim, they'd be like 9/11, like freaking out instantly. Like I was speaking to a woman and she was like, I was driving home last night, and there was a terrorist in the car behind me, and he kept following me, and I was like, why is this guy a terrorist? And I'm like, fucking listen to the story. And she's like, I was going along this road and it was like this dark country road, and like, we didn't live in a city, like there's a lot of country roads about here that are like no streetlights on them, and she was like, and this car was behind me the whole way there, took a turn and he followed me. I was like, this guy's a terrorist, like he's gonna kill me. And like, she was like genuinely panicked about this, and I was like, and like, the only thing was that she'd seen that, like, at some point when they're in a town or something, she's seen that this guy was wearing a turban. And she's like out in the country roads freaking out because she's like, he's a terrorist. Well, that's fucking narrow-minded as anything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's this propaganda, right? Aye. That all Muslims are terrorists.
It's ridiculous.
Now that is complete propaganda. Aye. That's I'm not for that at all. Mm-hmm. But because there's a lot of people that think like that because they've bought into the media. As soon as you start an honest critique of, and it's not just Islam. Yeah. I critique all religions equally, right? But as soon as you have anything to say about Islam, it's this weird sort of thing kicks in. There's a guy, what's his name? He's like a stand-up comedian, right? And he goes through the different religions, and he does, like, Judaism, Mormonism. Mm-hmm. He does Christianity, and everyone in the crowd's laughing. And he goes, "Now, you ready? Muslims." And there's a quiet, and then everyone starts going, and he goes, "Can you fucking feel it?" Like, he hasn't even said anything yet. Like, and he did all the other ones, and it was perfectly acceptable. Mm-hmm. So, that goes on as well. And I mean, there's so much to say about it that I don't want to start something that could be taken the wrong way, and then get a phone call, and then
it's almost just like racial stereotyping thing. Like, I mean, even today, like you could think about something like, if somebody came in and you met somebody and it was a German person and they had blonde hair and blue eyes, you would just think Nazi. Do you know
If you did that, sorry, ladies and gentlemen,
phone lines
I apologise. I didn't have the fucking I didn't have Skype open, so for the past 5 minutes, if people have been trying to phone, I do apologise. The Skype wasn't on.
But it's just all racial stereotypes, Sam. It's not.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it's people just being narrow-minded as well. Pardon me. You want another beer, Ski Sam? Say.
I might do. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing was, like, last week as well, when I was talking about these guys that killed Lee Rigby,
the Muslims.
like, it's not that I'm not offended by what they did, because it would have been really easy for me, and especially the person that some people perceive me as being, where I'm just anti-Islam, right? It would have been really easy for me to be like, yeah, this is what you get. This is fucking Muslims. This is what you get, right? I can't do that. I can't intellectually justify doing that. You know, being like that. I can't. So I have to, and especially when we've got video evidence of the guy proclaiming why he did it, right? Now, to my recollection, he didn't say anything about the Quran. He didn't say anything about Allah.
No,
he didn't say anything about Islam. He might have, during it, like, prayed, does what all Muslims do when they're in a conversation, when they're having lunch, you know, like, praise Allah or whatever, right? He might have done that, but his reasoning for doing it was all... Oh.
Fucking hell, son. That actually sounded like it shattered in my ears.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry.
It was all foreign policy. It was all, you guys are in our country doing this, and then you think, he might be bullshitting, but this is what we've got. This is what he's saying. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it's not because I'm justifying him. It's because I really do want to understand his motivation. So I hope I've done a job of explaining it, because I can understand why people would watch last week and think that I'm justifying him. I'm not justifying him, and I'm quite vocal about how I feel about Muslims, Christians, Jews, Mormons, like. Do you know what I mean? And you know what? You will get Muslims who are good people. You'll get Christians who are good people. You'll get Christians, you'll get Muslims, you'll get Jews who don't even follow the text that seriously. What irritates me is when you get ones that do, and even if they're perceiving it the wrong way, even if it wants to be argued that they're taking something out of context, the fact that you're basing your life around an ideology which can be taken out of context like that, as opposed to something... I don't know how you can scientifically orient an ideology. You know what I mean? I think there possibly is a way, and Sam Harris is a guy who has a lot of work on using, deriving morality from what we can understand. Basically having a direct morality from understanding down to the neurological level of what affects every person. You can almost scientifically derive a morality. Now, I'm not sure if that can be done, but when you have a morality or an ideology or anything that is based off of something like a book, who we don't know who read it, we don't know when it was written, not precisely, not accurately. The Old Testament certainly wasn't written by Moses, because he fucking died in Deuteronomy. So the first 5 books of the Bible, the 5 books of the Torah, are supposedly written by a guy who dies in the fucking end book. Now, we know now that that's not the case. That of course it wasn't written by one person. It was probably written by 4 different people. There's a thing called the documentary hypothesis which goes into it. But, so this is what I'm saying. When you're basing your fucking life around something that's so unverifiable, so kind of flimsy that way. Now, as if you want to then say, well, I don't really base my life around the books, I base my life around God. Fair enough.
Heath Ledger died when they were filming Batman, and still finished that, Sam.
I don't know what to say to that. Point proven.
So it must be true.
It must be true, because Heath Ledger died, yet he's still filmed Batman. So.
But I think they'd finished filming Batman, but then there was another one that they made just after, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and he died during the filming of that. And they got Jude Law and different people to fill in for him.
They played all the different parts.
So I've just argued and talked myself out of my own argument, Sam.
I don't know if you did. I think it was a
good argument.
So once again, we're open to calls. If we missed anyone there, sorry. We were a bit shit on getting the Skype loaded up fast enough. Do you want to have another beer?
Aye.
Right, you're going to have to keep these guys entertained.
Oh no, wait. Shit, I've got nothing. Right, I'll go for it.
Just
Right,
Just
I'm not.
talk
I will
about
go
it.
for it, Sam. I
right,
will
okay.
go for it.
You talk about anything. See if there's anything.
There's nothing on the media, Sam. I don't think.
Okay.
So I'm going to have a wee look. I was looking
To
at
be
today.
fair, we were quite late in posting the link and everything.
I've got 7 things. 7. Oh no, that's just stories.
Go for it.
I was looking at mammoths today. Woolly mammoths, and apparently they're trying to bring woolly mammoths back to life. And I think that's quite a crazy thing. But I thought it was a lot sooner than they're doing it. But apparently they're trying to bring some kind of pigeons back to life. Passenger pigeons. They're trying to bring these back to life, and they won't have them back till 2060. So I mean, if we're waiting for llamas, that's fucking ages away. But apparently, some guy in Siberia, which I think somewhere near Russia or in Russia, is making a mammoth park. But what does that mean? Do they need to make mammoth plants and stuff for the mammoths to eat? Like, what the fuck's that going to do? How many mammoths do you need to sustain Mammothville?
Actually, I never thought about that when they talk about cloning animals and things like that. You think about what's their diet?
Yeah, I know they don't
Like,
know.
Because then would we not have to then?
But I
clone
mean,
what
like
they're eating?
they were talking about they're talking about this passenger pigeon. This bird died out in like 1914, and they're talking about bringing that back. And I think that'll be quite easy because there's a lot of fucking hell, Sam. The noise on this, boom, boom, because you still get pigeons, and they must be a close relation to these passenger pigeons.
But I just think, do we not have Twitter? Like, what, I mean, is there a need for it? Is there a need for having passenger pigeons?
I know. I don't know.
Do you mean like the pigeons that
No,
we
that-
put things in?
No, that was no. They,
Or is it a passenger pigeon?
It's a
type
typey
of
bird. It's a
Oh,
typey
right.
pigeon.
I thought you meant they're
We
for
could
some
train
reason-
other pigeons, Sam.
To be fair, I was in another room and only kind
Aye.
of half listening. But no, I thought you were talking about we're going to bring back birds to send
Bring back-
messages.
no,
And I'm like, what?
they fucking don't even do it in
But
North
even-
Korea. They eat the birds.
Even in saying that, I'm like, do we not have Twitter? We don't fucking use Twitter. Like,
No, we don't, especially us. But so they're talking about this, and they're talking
What do you mean
about
especially? Is that what I meant us?
especially. Aye, alright. We especially don't use Twitter. We might just delete the Twitter, so nobody uses it.
No, we will get around to it. We'll figure it out one day, Paul.
We can work it. Just I can't be bothered going through the process of getting followers. It's a fucking nightmare. You made an arse
I
at
know.
pouring that, Sam. You're supposed to
Because you're
tilt
supposed to tilt it, but I know. But,
it. Do you want me to demonstrate?
yeah, go for it. Show us how to pour the perfect
So,
pint,
pour the
Paul.
perfect pint out. I can't. It's not even a pint, Sam. But they're talking about there's these things called white rhinos. I don't know if I can see myself, Sam. Can I see myself?
Let's just check. It'll glitch the fucking...
Watch out. This is where I'm going to fucking pour beer all over the equipment.
I'm going to have to come off it though, because it glitches.
Right there. This is so they're talking about these things called the white rhino that are nearly extinct, and they're talking about already resurrecting them.
Alright.
Look at that fucking lad, eh? Now I need to try really carefully not to spell it.
Well
And these
done.
things aren't even going yet, and they're trying to talking about bringing them back. I mean, that would be easy because they cloned a fucking sheep. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I think I'd love it if in my lifetime I seen a woolly mammoth come back. Do you know what else I seen? A fucking
Yeah.
a video. Somebody apparently remade a hoverboard or made a hoverboard. This company called Hover HUVR.
I don't think they remade it.
No,
Because it hasn't been
they
made
made
yet.
they made the hoverboard for Back to the Future. They made this
Right.
board that flew, and they had Doc Brown. What was his name?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd, and they had Tony Hawk endorsing it, and they had them on this video, right? And they were like filming it, and they got these other celebrities to do it, and like they're like fucking look at this hoverboard. They're like, it's so
This
easy. to
sounds
use.
like a hoax, to be
It
honest.
is a hoax because if you think, what year did they make that fucking movie and they could make it look good? Do you know what I mean? This film that they're filming in some fucking back parking lot. And you're like, do you know what I mean? So
a good hoax I saw was there's a website called Firebox that do loads of kind of crazy gadget stuff, and I'm sure it was on Firebox, and they on April Fools, I think it was last year or whatever, they had the Iron Man 3 suit, and it was like army issued, you know, like it proper flies and everything. It just doesn't have the bullets and all that stuff. And everyone's like, oh my god,
really,
you know, whatever it was like, you know, 300,000 or something like that. And I had people sending me links and what do you think of this? And I'm
on like your fucking on the what for free?
No, it wasn't anything to do with that.
I seen a thing today. Sorry, Sam. I seen a thing today. I'll need to tell you about.
Right. Well, it wasn't anything to do with that. It was just funny that they were sending me it and saying like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "Go check the fucking."
Are you fucking retarded?
If
Google
you,
it.
If you go to the description, it tells you it's a April Fool's joke.
Does it?
And
Fucking hell.
so I'm like, what do I think of it? I think I read it.
I seen a thing today, Sam, and I thought it was actually it relates well to your work for free.
Uh huh.
Do you want me to tell you what it was?
Sure.
Right. Basically, apparently, there's some kind of a shortage in fresh water, right? Because like fucking something to do with icebergs and all this kind of stuff. I'll try and find it on what I was looking at it earlier. But basically, they were saying that we need fresh water for plants to go. So they're going to build these things and float them off the coast of Greenland or something like that, right? And basically, it's like a big hoop. That's the picture there. It looks like a big hula hoop, right? And this thing harvests like they take icebergs into it, right? And when icebergs melt down, it gives them fresh water, right? So then this is a man-made structure. It's like a big donut. Bring icebergs into the middle of it. It's open at one side, and then the icebergs melt down in the middle of it, and they creates fresh water. And then in the ring, like the ring that the thing's made of, they've got like plants that grow like with like hydroponic. They grow plants like is it hydroponic?
Hydroponic.
Hydroponic. They grow them hydroponically, so they've got this like big floating island. And do you want me to read a couple of numbers and stuff of it?
Yeah.
It's called a man-made floating island that goes on sale. They're talking about putting off the coast of Greenland or Iceland or one of these places. Greenland. Workers live in it and all that kind of stuff, but it's supposed to be fucking like. It's designed to support 800 people, and it's called the Arctic Harvester. So I don't know if that means 800 people go and live on it. Do you know what I mean? And you live off solar power and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought it's crazy.
And so the
do you
people
know what I
going
mean?
there, are they kind of like working on it?
I don't really know, because like I don't know how automated it is. There's French names. Somebody and colleagues won first prize in their latest French name competition for the Arctic Harvester, which is designed to support 800 people. The idea is to float this donut-shaped facility off the coast of Greenland, where workers would collect small icebergs from the surrounding area and move them into the central bay where it would melt. The fresh water would be used to feed plants grown in a hydroponic greenhouse. The fruits and vegetables produced could be sold to people living near the coast of the mainland. That's quite a good idea, eh?
Yeah. The thing is, there's so much of the sea that's completely unutilised. And
like they talk about wave power and stuff like that as well.
well, yeah, I mean, we can get a lot of energy from that, and like, you know, there's tidal power, the wind turbines under the
Did you hear
sea
about?
beds.
When you
I was just going to say, like, when you think about overpopulation,
mm-hmm.
all this idea of overpopulation,
Mm-hmm.
like, we haven't even begun to start
No.
using the sea.
No.
Yeah, and
I
if we
know.
can grow food and hydroponically and sustain sort of almost like artificial islands,
Yeah.
like, I mean, if it's possible to do it, we'll do it
Or
eventually.
even floating. Do you know what I mean? For them to float. I seen a thing.
Actually, one second, just while we're on that, there was a scene. I don't know if there's. I think it's all concept. I don't know if it actually exists in real life. Although there was one image that made it look like it was a real thing, but it could just still be a concept image. But they're having these hotels that are like on the seabeds that go under, and so when you go to your room, you go down the elevator and you go,
mm-hmm.
you know, to your room,
And
and
the
the
sea.
ceiling is all glass.
Aye.
So like you're under the
Sleeping
sea.
with the fishies.
Aye.
Sleeping with the fishes.
So that'll be cool.
That was quite cool. The thing I was going to say, Sam, is like there was one of the wee islands off Scotland called, I think it's the Isle of Egg, and it's spelled like EIGG. Apparently it's became the first self-sufficient island, right? They're not connected up to the main power line. Like the main power lines, like the UK, they generate all their own electricity through like it's not a big island, but like through wind and solar power and all that kind of stuff. So that's quite cool as well. Like they apparently the residents of the island, it was a lot of it was farmland, but they bought the island.
Yeah.
So essentially the residents own the island,
Yeah.
which is quite a mad thing as well.
I love the idea of sustainability like that, you know, having like an enclosed sort of system. And I don't mean enclosed as in like you can't go anywhere else, but just having a sort of like an ecology of you know, solar panels and whatever other energy sources. But then, in fact, this is a good this is a good time to sort of plug. One of my friends, Douglas Millett, part of the Zeitgeist movement, one of the members. His sort of business is what he does is he's got these sort of designs for this enclosed system, and it's quite incredible. So it's like this little sort of hut. It's like this little house that you live in, right? And it has like see, I wasn't planning on bringing this up, so I'm probably going to get a few terminologies wrong. But so you have, like, as far as I know, it's like solar panels along the top. So it, there might be a wind turbine thing on the side, but it completely powers itself through that way. Then the other thing it has hydroponic plants, right? And then you think, well, but they need, of course, hydroponic.
How big is this?
I'm not sure the size of it, but as far as I know, it's compressed and everything, so they probably aren't like too big. The idea is that we'll be able to sort of buy one of these. Right now, you can like go to a third world country and you can buy them like a hut. I think Carol Pilkington did it in one of the episodes where Ricky Gervais said to him, "If you do this bungee jump, I'll buy someone a hut," and it's like $5,000 or something for this hut. So he'll buy one if you do it. And Carol was like, no, I can't do it. He's like, come on, we'll buy someone a hut. You'd be giving someone a hut if you did the bungee jump.
And did he not just tell him he did it or something in the end?
No, he couldn't do it. And but then Ricky Gervais was like upping it and saying, well, we'll get them 2 huts. We'll get them 5 huts. 5 huts. Come on, Carol. And he still didn't do it. So I don't know like if it's going to be anything that like what they're used to, like just this sort of small enclosed thing. But the thing is, it's got this hydroponic thing, right? But the hydroponic thing works by having this. You also have this, I think it's called aquaponics, right? Which is it's so crazy. It's kind of a bit annoying to describe though, because I don't know all the ins and outs. But you have these fish, right, that are inside this thing inside your house. So it's like almost like having a big massive fish tank, right? That then all the nutrients and everything that the fish produce go into feeding the plants. Right, so the idea of and then of course the fish. You think about what do they eat? One of the plants that you would grow, I think it's called duckweed, and it's the type of plant it is. Fish eat it. So it's this enclosed loop.
So they make like compost basically for these plants to grow.
Not compost, but like
like the equivalent of compost. Aye.
So it's like because they're all the nutrients, everything that the plant would need to grow. The electricity, the filtration systems is powered by the solar panels. So you have, as far as I know, you have free food, and you have, because it's just the circle of life with all the plants and everything. But then I think you can probably eat the fish as well whenever they get to a certain, whenever there's so many of them. So you've got fish, electricity, and whatever you can grow.
You don't need to feed the fish, you don't need water the plants.
You don't need to feed the fish, you don't need water the plants.
That's crazy.
And so the idea is that you set up this system and you press go and it just works. And it's CFS, Cybernetic Farming Systems, is the company. And as far as I know, they're doing quite well. Like he's touring around a lot, he's going all over the world.
Going to like third world places and that.
So if you happen to be someone with a bit of money or, a job or whatever, watching this and you've got like, money to spare, if you're ever looking for someone like to donate money to or to try and help an organisation, CFS, Cybernetic Farming Systems, Douglas Millett. And also if you
is that his business?
Yeah. Also if you haven't seen, this is the great thing. I fucking love Douglas Millett because his idea is to use this idea of capitalism, use it to end capitalism, make it redundant, use it to your advantage. So I mean, he's got he's going down this path and whatever. But as far as I know, they're taking donations, and if you can, give your money to them. It's fucking worth it.
Is it like a Kickstarter, or do they have a website, or?
Did they have a Kickstarter? There's a website anyway, and they've got their Facebook page and all that stuff. And, so, and you want to look more into just YouTube Douglas Millett, and he does a lot of stuff for the Zeitgeist movement. As well, and Douglas Millett's awesome. So check out his stuff.
Very good, Sam.
I always feel like I seem to always sort of fit in like a plug somewhere, like plugging someone and stuff, like almost like a little advert, and it's weird because like I always hate when I wanted to do a podcast because I think it's I mean, it's fun doing a podcast, and it's good to have all this stuff. You know, we'll be able to look back on this and be like, look at the fucking shit we were talking about, you know. So it's always fun. But you think about it, like, if it ever does kind of go anywhere, if people like it, it gets a lot of views, becomes successful, a lot of these podcasts have advertisements at the start, and I cringe. Like, I can't do that. I can't do, like, just have it on paper doing an advertisement. I can't do it.
Yeah, aye.
You know? But it's fun though whenever there is something that I really do believe in. Like, I really think this is something worthwhile here. So I'm, you know, telling you, go check it out. But it's so weird that it feels like I'm going into this little advertisement mode. But I promise you, I'm not getting fucking paid by anyone. So
no.
So like, so you know it's legit. Anyway,
it's legitimately good. No callers this week, Ryan Green.
We don't have any callers this week yet. Now, to be fair, for the first 10 minutes, we weren't signed in because I'm an idiot, and that happens sometimes. But if you're listening now, I know it's a 20-second delay, phone in at any point. Don't wait on us finishing a conversation.
Just phone in. Just interrupt us if you want.
Don't feel like it has to be about the conversation as well. Talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. And we're just hanging out. We're just having fun.
Having a beer.
And you can hang out with us. You can.
Somebody,
please. That was funny last week though. We had like fucking 3 phone calls.
Oh
we didn't
my
realise.
God, I know. I feel like if we had the phone calls for last week, this week, if we could have split it up better. Last week we had too much phone calls.
Well, no, the thing is we didn't realise. So we had, you know, we had one guy on for, I think, almost half an hour or something, wasn't it?
But it was what was needed.
That was the only criticism, or one of the only criticisms that I got was we need to cap how much time people get. So it was like 10 minutes. You know,
because then they were fucking panicking
for 10 minutes.
Do you know what we could do? Well, I don't know if it's much of a shout back, but what about playing Ryan Green's Monkey song? I don't know what the hell it was though.
We would need to get the proper, because the thing is we can't have it playing through something, because it would need to be proper.
I don't know how. I don't even know what it was, but it was
plus we need to explain it, and I feel like we did that last week, and I've already went into what we did last week with the whole lead out thing. So this is I was wondering if this is going to happen where we just end up going back. I remember like a couple of weeks ago, and we end up talking about the same stuff all the time.
I enjoyed last week, Sam. Have you actually watched it back right through?
I did, because I stuck it on just to see what the sound quality was like. And I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought that's quite an alright podcast.
I kind of skipped through some bits of it. It was quite good. I was watching I was listening to a podcast the other week, and they're talking to that Commander Chris Hadfield, the guy that had been in space for ages. No, he was the Canadian.
Was that the guy that did the song?
Aye.
Yeah.
Ground control to Major Tom. Sounding like fucking the Oasis. Ground control to Major Tom.
I just copied the accent you were doing. So.
No, but it was crazy, man. I think it was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking to the Commander Chris Hadfield.
Oh, he had him on, did he?
Aye, it was really good. He actually did one this week, and do you know who had on this week? Louis Theroux. I seen it posted up. I was like, fucking. I don't usually listen to him, but like I like to watch it. I think that would be quite interesting. Louis Theroux's funny.
Yeah.
He's always got good stuff to say. But what? Like that Chris Hadfield was talking about, not stuff. He was talking about Mars, and it's bewildering. Like I think like the biggest problem.
Was he getting all sort of scientific about it?
Not too much. Like it was listenable. Do you know what I mean? Like he wasn't losing me. Do you know what I mean? But it's just crazy. Like he was saying, the biggest issue with going to Mars is getting people that can psychologically do it.
That's right, because it takes so long to get there that you're talking months in a closed space with other people. And if you've ever seen an episode of Big Brother,
fucking nuts.
It doesn't go down well.
No evictions in outer space, Sam.
Well,
but I mean that would be like
a movie.
That he was saying that like
evictions in outer space.
We've never gone there. He says like the way that we do it with like the space stations going around the Earth is like it's just like a ship travelling up and down the coast, and maybe we went over to this island that was the moon, but that's not that far away, and now we're going like that's a proper voyage. Like he says you're proper out of contact there. Like he said he was on the space station with this woman he'd been in training with her years and years ago, and she referred to like NASA like, oh, like, instead of saying like, oh, NASA phoned us today and they want us to do this, they were like, she's like, Earth phoned and they want us to do this, and then he's like, it's weird that she was detaching herself, like she is now a different being from Earth, like Earth is like a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
And he says when you go to Mars, like it'll be completely different because it'll take so long to relay messages back, and these people will be the first pioneers that are like, they are so separate from Earth, like contact with Earth takes like a long time to go through. And he was talking about like you like radio wouldn't even be that feasible, like it would probably be like short video messages. I'm like why fucking video messages? Like how big is a video message?
But
just send a bit of fucking text or something.
What I don't understand though is why can't we just have like a string and cup like they do in North Korea?
Aye. Do you know what I was wondering, right? See if this is a weird thing I thought a while ago, right? It's not like a string and cup, but there was it Russia or China? One of them kind of a bit out there countries. They were talking about building this thing called the Sky Ladder, right? Or the Sky something, and basically like they would have a space station up in the air, right? And it would be linked to Earth by some kind of ladder, and they could send things up and down it.
I think was it not NASA was doing like a competition with all these like sort of young scientists to see who.
But how would that fucking work? Like I don't understand. Like because the way that things go around Earth in orbit is they're basically falling around Earth. Like it's like they're going off the edge and they fall and they just keep falling because the Earth gravity keeps pulling them in and they're falling. And that's how like see when they do them anti-gravity tests in the planes and they take a plane up and they fly it like that and they fly it down. When they fly it down, like the people inside it are basically falling, but they're falling with the plane, so that's how they float. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so they don't weigh anything, but they're floating. Yeah. But they're basically falling. So when you're going around there, you're falling. Yeah. And you're just falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. That's crazy. And I'm like, what would that mean? Like, because then you're just basically getting pulled around the Earth. And I heard some other weird thing about the Earth as well, right?
Was this all this one guy?
No, this was just things I've been thinking about, Sam, in my own time that fucking drive me up the wall. Like, I was thinking, like, what would happen if you drilled a hole through the Earth? Right? If you fucking...
Isn't there a conspiracy theory about that, though, that there's people living in the Earth's... Not in the core, but, like, there's crab people. Honestly.
Really?
People believe it.
I fucking never heard that. I watched
the fact there was an episode of a TV show I've seen about it, and they went to like this area where this guy thought that all these bunkers were, and they go down into what was that film? Was there not like was it not one of the Resident Evils where they had like Umbrella? That was
like the first one, was it not?
It was like everything was underground.
It was like a wee town.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a theory. People believe that exists.
That's fucking nuts.
And it's sort of like if there's ever a nuclear winter or whatever, then all the presidents,
there could be things,
all the king's army and all the king's men, they go underground.
But I when I was like, this is like beside my point, but I was looking at something and it was like Russians drill to like deepest point, like drill through the Earth's crust. I mean, like the air, we can't even get through the Earth's crust, like it's fucking like that thick, and that's the thinnest wee layer on top of the Earth. Like nobody's ever drilled past it.
It's good for geothermal.
Aye, but like there was this fucking video and I was like looking at conspiracies and that one night, and I found this video like Russians drill through the crust to like near the centre of the Earth, like, and you hear voices, and I was like, oh my god. And I remember being scared to watch it. I don't know why, but I turned it on and it was like these fucking weird noises. I was like, I
know what you're talking about. It's like
really fucking weird.
Fucking sounds of hell. It's,
aye, that's what it was. But anyway, that was like total bullshit. But like, so I was thinking,
it's a fucking. Tell people to go watch it. I'm usually telling people
to do stuff. Hell. The Russian sounds of hell.
Look at me. Look at them.
Go and watch the Russian sounds of hell.
Look at them in the eye, Paul.
I fucking just did the exact noise from the video.
Respect their audience.
I can't look them in the eye, Sam. After fart jars last week. But this thing was saying like,
if anyone's worried that we don't have enough fart jars in this, then
we don't have any fart jars.
But I mean that type of
that's not enough. But one would be too much.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Green's offline now. He was online. I was waiting on him phoning in. There's someone else that was going to phone in as well, and I just want to say that if you are listening, don't add me on Skype. It's Chairmen OT board, all one word, board spelled.
Is it OT? Is that not the Twitter?
Sorry, that's the Twitter. Yeah, it's Chairman of the board, all one word, Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Add us. We've still got like half an hour, so And Ryan Green went online. Do you think we pressured them with the whole song
I
thing?
think he's disappeared.
You don't have to write a song, Ryan.
It's past 25 minutes, Ryan. You've missed the boat.
Oh, he's back.
Stephen
No, he's
Deer's
not,
on
he's
now.
not, he's not. Stephen Deer's on. We could be getting a call from Stephen Deer.
He wants more kudos.
He's not had enough, you know. It wasn't enough to be
He wants us
kudos
to
at the beginning.
come upside his house and do a skid.
Because that's what it means.
It must be something like that. I fucking don't know what it is. Is it not like Mexican money?
Kudos.
It's really racist.
Kudos. I don't know.
Kudosa.
But it's see, this whole fucking issue of racist. You know, here's an issue, right? This was an article that was brought up just a couple of days ago, and it was something to do with, like, I don't know the name of the program, and it's like Sky Sports. No, it wasn't Sky Sports. It was a football panel show.
Oh, they have one in the morning that's like Soccer AM or something.
Something like that. I don't. It's or it's Match Time or something. You know, it's whatever it is.
Match of the day.
Match of the day. It might be that, right? So it's one of these sort
You
of
don't watch
prominent
football.
things. It's the one that Gary Lineker's on, right?
Oh, I fucking don't know.
It's-
The Walkers adverts.
Yeah. So it's him and like
No,
these
the
other guys.
Walkers adverts is crisp, Sam.
No, but that's Gary Lineker.
Oh right, I thought you were like, yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Salt and vinegar. And
Oh no.
so the headline was too many whites on whatever the channel is, and the idea was that they were going to bring in more coloured people. Now, the weird thing is, you read this article, they never talk about bringing in. We're going to bring in an Asian and an Indian and an African. It's always African. It's like that's what the article say. We're going to bring in more Africans. We want more Africans in the the TV show. Now, it's so strange though that, like, imagine there was a TV show and it was like 4 black dudes sitting talking about something, and the headline read, "Too many blacks on TV." The fucking country would be in an uproar about that. Too many, you know, but you can say too many whites, and that just apparently doesn't have the same effect. I mean, I don't really get offended at fucking much, but
I mean, look how mental everybody went when Jade Goody called somebody a poppadom.
yeah, that's it. Like, it's like you're not allowed to. It's alright if you're white, you know.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video. It was kind of like, I mean, it was kind of a bit funny when it got going. But it was kind of clever. It was more clever than it was funny.
Right.
And what it is it's this stand-up comedian. I think his name's Sam Hyde, right? Now, I only knew about him because he did a video that kind of went a little bit viral, and it was, you know, you get these TED Talks.
Yeah.
And TED Talks are kind of, they have the same sort of people up there all the time. And I really like TED Talks. I watch a lot of TED Talks. But this guy called Sam Hyde got up, and he's a comedian, and he did like a whole piss take where he presented himself as being a TED Talk guy, and you know, it was all he'd worked with Tesla and Elon Musk, and he'd done all this stuff, and so he got up on stage and he's just playing the character of a TED speaker, and it's kind of funny, like, you know, and there's some bits where he can't help but laugh at the shit he's coming out with, and he's like hiding his face in the paper and everything, and so that video's kind of gotten, it's funny enough. I think it's quite funny. If you want to go see that, like, I think the guy's name's Sam Hyde. But anyway, so I was like kind of looking into him. He's a stand-up comedian, and he had this video where he went up, and he did a stereotypical black comedy routine, but where everything was reversed.
Right.
And so he was like, you know, he was talking with all that stuff, you know. I can't do it. I'm really bad at doing it. But it's like, I was at my mom's, yo, and like doing all this stuff. And he's talking about, they think that it's society. They think it's all the white people that are just going out there and robbing people, but they don't know, man. It's all them black judges that putting them white kids away. And so it was like doing maybe what a black guy in America would get up and say. But doing it from like completely reversed,
right? And
it's so awkward to watch, but it's weird how it highlights like how
silly
you can sort of view, you know, you're supposed to not be racist and not be, you're supposed to look at everything as being the same. I'm trying to think of what some of the other things this guy was saying coming out. He had this catchphrase when he was going white like a crack-a-doo. And that was his little catchphrase that he kept saying throughout the thing. White, and it's kind of funny because like a lot of people in the crowd, I don't think they get it.
He was making it like he was a black guy, but slagging off white people.
He was doing the stereotypical black attitude, like the black, you know, like I don't know, the stereotypical like black rappers, you know, like 50 Cent or Dr. Dre or whatever, you know, doing all this attitude, these like things, but acting as if that's white culture. That's what white people do in a society run by blacks, and it's always like the reverse. And it's a little bit uncomfortable to watch, especially in the beginning. But as it gets going, it's kind of. I mean, it is kind of funny a little bit, but it's also quite a. There's Ryan Green on. It's also quite a sort of statement that he's making as well. How it's all right to. Like, I mean, if a black guy went up and was saying, "You white motherfuckers, you can't dance," you know, all these white motherfuckers, they can't dance.
I see
that.
It's
It's all right to say that, but imagine you went up and said, imagine you stereotyped black people. It's completely different. It's like the reaction wouldn't even be, you wouldn't even get a laugh. You'd be like,
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
It's funny. I seen a thing that was a Richard Pryor DVD I had, and like, oh my god, Ryan Green. He's got to get his baby back.
You said it again. What the fuck?
Ryan Green, there's a dingo in the kitchen.
Hello, hey, Ryan. I need to put you up a little bit. Okay, say something.
Something?
Oh, that was loud.
Clever Ryan.
How's it going, dude?
Not too bad.
Can I ask where you're calling from today, sir?
Same place as last week.
We're going to have to ask you to mute your girlfriend. I'm kidding. How's it going?
Not too bad.
I didn't get a reaction there. I thought, fuck. I went across the line.
I just realised what you'd said. I was like, oh my god.
Aye, so what have you got for us today, Ryan?
Well, I joined in late, so I didn't know about your wee challenge you'd sent me. It was Hazel that told me, but I'm definitely up for doing that at some point.
Well, that's cool, Ryan.
At some point, the challenge is you only have 25 minutes.
So now you know.
Why don't I come over and be a guest one night then? I'll record it in 25 minutes while I'm there.
So you'll be kind of just on camera, just kind of off to the side.
Yeah, not even on camera. I can sit in another room. You can time me to 25 minutes.
Then people won't know if you're really there or not. You might just be. I suppose that doesn't really matter.
You can put me on camera.
Sounds alright.
I'm confused by this fucking challenge, Ryan.
Do you know what? It's not a 25 minutes and go thing. I think it's more you've got the premise, but when you decide to get round to doing it, you only give yourself 25 minutes. So if you're going to do it, you can't be thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They need to police your thoughts.
So yeah, what else?
What do you think of the whole Oscar Pistorius thing?
The guy that killed his girlfriend, was it? Or his wife?
Yeah, the South African Paralympian.
I've only heard, I've only kind of turned on a little bit of it, but there was like things about the neighbour saying that she heard screaming and stuff during it. And
he said that he thought, what was it? He thought there was a burglar in the house and she was just up after a glass of milk or something.
Yeah, he thought that she was in the bed, and then apparently he chased her, or he ran down the corridor without his prosthetic legs on. Which was quite skillful. That
would have been fucking terrifying. Imagine that coming after you.
Yeah, he's an Olympic athlete, man.
Like, I'm not being funny, but like, not knowing, like, she's just up all bloody eyed and that, like, oh, I want a wee glass of milk. And next thing, like, fucking
chugga.
Yeah, well, he thought that she was in the bed beside
like,
him.
It wouldn't even have sounded like footsteps. It would have sounded like a fucking monster was coming after you, clumping about.
You feel like paranormal activity.
See, I'm sketchy on the events of things and what's alleged and all that stuff. It's kind of weird though that a guy with like all this. Well, I'll tell you what I'll compare it to, right? Because you would immediately go, that's not right. Why would a guy with all this success and all this fame and all this attention do something to intentionally fuck it up, right? That would be my initial reaction. But after that fucking Flappy Bird idiot who took the game down and just like decided he would rather not have all this money because it's too addictive. Never mind the fact that there's been about 50 replicas of the game that are now up, that now someone else is making that money. So you think, why would someone intentionally fuck themselves over? So the fact that the Flappy guy, that's his name, Flappy guy, the fact that he did it, it's like, it's possible that people are that fucked up in the head that they don't think about what's going on. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to hear all the stuff and before coming to a decision. But to be honest, I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's another. Oops.
How did you do that?
I have no idea. I need to play that back in slow motion. No, I don't know. It's another. I mean, if this was just a murder and all that stuff, it wouldn't be.
If it was anybody else, you know what I mean.
But it's obviously. Well, do you think it's a big story because he's an Olympian, or because he's like a para?
I think he was some kind of national hero in his country because of what he'd done for the.
Yeah, but do you think if take that out of it?
If he's just a regular Joe.
Well, but not just a regular Joe, but like, because say he still had the what do you call them?
Legs.
The prosthetic legs.
Right.
Did they still call them prosthetic when it's those like curvy things that he runs with?
He's called the Blade Runner, so I think they're called speed blades or something from what I've read.
Although, do you think he wears those ones all the time, or are they just like his running shoes? Like
no, they're just his running shoes. He's got like normal plastic prosthetics for everyday use.
Let's be fair, not normal. But you know what I mean. Like, although they're getting pretty good though with technology with these things. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Ryan? What do you think happened?
I'm not so sure. Like, from watching it, the second witness had said that she got woken up during the night because she heard screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And then she heard like banging and more screaming.
Yeah.
And the defence were questioning him. He was like, well, one of the shots was to the head, which they've proven wasn't the last one. So how could she have screamed? And then later on, when they came back to her, she was like, my husband called me and told me that he had heard it was Oscar Pistorius and he had shot his girlfriend on the radio. And then she's now suddenly able to stand in court and tell exactly the same story as him. Like, because it's been on the news and everybody knows what's happened.
Aye.
Like, 70 witnesses. Any of those witnesses could have just watched the news and made up a story. But at the same time, there's got to be a party that thinks, well, he's got all these gun charges, there's videos of him firing guns. And,
he's got previous.
Yeah, well, he was in a restaurant and somebody passed him a gun under the table.
Oh my god.
Caught the belt loop of his trousers and fired a bullet, which went through the floor. And it hit one of his friends in the toe or something. And when they got questioned, he asked one of his friends to take the blame for it. And he basically said, if I get caught, like,
that's his career. That's his career over. So
his friend took the blame for it. And then there was videos of him at a shooting range, and he shot a watermelon with a handgun from 50 yards or something.
So it's like he's a good shot. He knows what he's doing, kind of thing.
They classed him as a marksman kind of thing. So, like, for him to be able to fire 4 shots through the door and kill someone, like, how he didn't know she wasn't in the bed. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's hard to believe that if you thought someone was in your house, that you wouldn't first think it was someone that you knew. Even I'm not saying he had to think it was his girlfriend.
Yeah, if I woke up during the night because I heard banging, the first thing I'd do is roll over and see if Ash was in the bed beside me.
Yeah. Well, if someone came in my door, the first thing that I would think, if someone just walked in my door, I would think that's Thomas.
Friend.
That's whatever. You know, that's someone walking in. That's you. You know.
Aye.
I would not ever think it has to be.
If I was
an
him
intruder
and I was shooting her, I would think, why is a burglar wearing a dressing gown?
Well, not even, like, you know, I mean, there is the whole thing of what if he didn't really see what she was wearing. Like, so, okay, we'll give him that. What if he didn't really see what she was wearing? But even if he did think it was a burglar, right, for whatever reason, he thought, this is a burglar, this is an intruder, would your first reaction not be to kind of shout, like, trying to warn them off, or...
I go like, who the fuck is that? Get in my house.
Yeah.
Aye.
I mean, that would be I would think that would be my first reaction. So it is fishy.
The fact that in South Africa there's no jury either, like, it's just the judge that makes the decision.
Is there not? The final word's down to one man.
Yeah, well, it's a female judge. She's...
Sorry for being sexist, Ryan. I can tell that touched a bone with you.
It's a female judge, Paul.
A female judge. Don't be such a fucking idiot.
You fucking ass.
No, but it's a female judge, and she's there making her own decisions, so she's going.
Because she's a woman and she can.
Both sides. Well, because she is a woman, though, I mean, people are going to say, well,
That's why she.
take sympathy for the woman that got shot.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if it was a man, are you not going to think, well, he's going to take sympathy with a man? Like,
Or is he going to woo her because she's a woman?
Woohoo.
Think of the judge.
I know. I just realised that sounded like I went woohoo. I didn't. I was asking who he was wooing.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. This is fucking brilliant.
Is woo even the right word? I don't know where I even heard that. That sounds like it's from like the 50s.
That's like saying you're like trying to entice somebody or try to woo somebody.
But is that a word that's used? I don't know if I just sort of
Yeah, it is.
sprung that out of the bag.
Good go wooing.
Woohoo. I like that.
Who?
is that not what it's called in The Sims when you make your Sims do it?
Wooing.
No, is it not called like whoopee or something?
I thought it was woohoo.
Or might be.
Ashley is nodding her head, so it must be.
It must be then. If Ashley thinks it's woohoo, then it's fucking definitely woohoo.
Is she a Sims authority, Ryan?
Is she what, sorry?
Is she a Sims authority?
No, she's just good at it.
Right, okay.
Usually I just like build a house and then get bored because my Sims like needing stuff to do. But she
That's
actually
what-
plays it and goes through the whole career and stuff.
That's what I do. Like whenever I get the Sims, whenever I buy it out the shop and go to play it,
Those unofficial shops.
the ones online. So whenever I go to play it, it's always like with the best intentions. Like I'm gonna build me a nice house and like I'm gonna work really hard and up the system and. And then, like within 10 minutes, you're like, I really need that new couch. What the fuck? What's the cheat again to get the money?
I need to become read a book to get a job.
And then you get the couch, and you realize it's just like real life, Then you get the couch, and you realize this really wasn't worth the money or
And
the
then
time
you piss on the
or
floor.
effort. And then you piss on the floor. Then you lock your guy. Do you ever do this on The Sims, where you create the 4 walls and you lock your guy in like a little space where he can't really move, and then he's just there like yelling at you like, "Oh," and you're like, I'm watching.
I like when your kitchen goes on fire, and rather than phone the fire brigade, you decide that you're going to tackle it yourself to be the hero. And then when you die, you're actually pissed off that you've taken all the time to build this sim, and now they're dead. You get annoyed with yourself for not putting in smoke alarms or phoning the fire brigade.
Is there? I'm wondering now because I can't really remember. Is there like a save point that at least if you kill your guy, you can go back, or is it just once he's dead, he's dead?
Yeah, once he's dead, I think.
Oh my god.
What a harsh game.
I mean,
That's life.
That's life.
My
That's it.
computer sometimes like closes the game and you kind of reopen it, and Ash had sat playing it for like 6 hours one night building this awesome
She is an
house.
authority on The Sims then.
And
6 hours in one night. That's an authority right there.
the computer crashed. The thing is though, she only plays it for those 6 hours and she never goes back there until she gets a new expansion pack. But no, like the computer crashed and she lost the game, and she was totally raging, like she just wouldn't play it again.
Oh no.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I do like get hooked on these games like Age of Empires. It's so weird because I know that it goes nowhere. I'm not learning anything from sitting playing it. And I don't know, it's weird. It's one of these games as well that's like once enough time goes by, you think, I haven't played that game in a while.
You go back to
And
it.
then you go back to it and you're just doing all the stuff that you done like, a couple of years ago.
It's like Broken Sword. They've just released the new Broken Sword, and like I love those games, so I want to go back and play the first one, but I can't because I've not played the new one yet.
Is Broken Sword the name of a game?
Yeah.
I thought you were using like a sort of funky euphemism when, like, instead of using, it's like a broken record, you were saying it's like a broken sword because we're talking about games.
It's like a broken sword.
I've
never heard of Broken Sword, Ryan. Is that a PC kind of game?
Yeah, it's a PC. It's a point and click. It's like an adventure game. You're this wee guy called George Stobart. And
doesn't sound real, does it?
That's why you're hooked.
I'm immediately interested. What does he do?
Well, I don't know. He just kind of solves mysteries.
Don't put him on the spot, Paul. What's a weird sort of thing is like the games that are popular right? You know what's weird actually? I was with I was doing a bit of work in a primary school, and so we were sort of taking a break, and I was asking the kids like what we'll play a game, write down some sort of names of like games, you know, like are your games, you want to make a game. And so like they had some like, you know, funky names, like they had like what about Triangle Land, that'd be a good name for a game. And I'm like, yeah, Triangle Land, where everything is a circle. You know, so we're having a bit of fun. But then after like they've put in a couple of titles, it was weird. They got this like Flappy Bird sort of thing in their head, and they were like, "What about Splashy Whale?"
Oh no!
And I was like,
Slappy Turtle.
Yeah, that's what. And then it was like all the games sort of deteriorated into that. And I actually mentioned Flappy Bird a little while ago, but it's kind of funny how the games that are really popular just now, right? Even Angry Birds, and I think Gun Fu was like quite popular for a while. It's all these like really, really simple, just almost one
it's just
touch.
because it's easy to pick up and play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't need to.
Yeah,
there's no story.
That's it, and it's weird because like you think about the amount of money that's getting spent on developing games for like the iPad or the iPhone, and people are playing these games. It seems like they're playing them more than they're playing fucking Call of Duty and all that.
But it's just easy to play. Like a couple of weeks ago, I downloaded San Andreas on my phone, like the PS2 one, because it came out on a Play Store and that. So I downloaded it. I've not even opened it, but I'll sit and play Plants vs Zombies and
I did the same thing.
Angry Birds and that.
I did the same thing.
I've still got it sitting there.
I think it was. I'm sure it was San Andreas as well, or maybe Vice City. I did the same thing, and it's weird because it's like they're trying to turn the iPad. You did it on your phone. I got it on the iPad, and it was weird because it's like they try and turn the iPad into a controller.
It does. I don't like it.
They've got like a touch screen analog stick.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the way the iPad's shaped, like how thin it is, you can't hold that in the same way that you'd hold a controller.
No.
And I guess it's all right for if it's just really simple one touch.
Yeah.
Whatever games, Candy Crush.
I fucking don't understand that at all.
As well, who supposedly Candy Crush completely ripped off this independent gamer, independent developer.
What, somebody designed it and then sold it to them?
Yeah, I mean you'd need to look up the article to find it, because I can't remember the name of the game. It was Candy Swipe, I think it was called. This guy developed Candy Swipe, and apparently Candy Crush just came along and like, we'll take that, and just completely ripped the guy off. And, but it is a weird thing though, and I think about all these developers like spending, because these games like the San Andreas. Now, granted, San Andreas was already made and out for the PS2, but think about all the new games. Like when they made the Iron Man 3 game, it was like they had to sort of make it from scratch for the iPhone. And I mean, I don't know how many people are playing that. I don't know how well that's doing, because
I don't think so.
The games that people seem to like are these really, really simplistic, one touch. Maybe they've got a 2-touch system. Gun Fu was kind of good, but I mean, think about how simplistic Gun Fu looks, and you think, wow, that's one of the most popular games, and they're featured on the App Store. And any game that's featured on the App Store, the guys, you know, who are making them are making a lot of money off of these really, really simple games. And yet the newest sort of consoles that are coming out, the Xbox One and PS4, and I might be wrong, but I don't really hear about them that much.
No.
Like
you do, I suppose, if you look into it and all that kind of stuff.
They're just, I'll tell you what, my most favourite game in the last, like, probably like year or something like that, probably a couple of years, my most favourite game is, like I'm talking about the big releases, is South Park, the new South Park game.
Have you played that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's fun. It's a really funny game.
Right.
If you're offended, then don't play it. But if you're not, then you'll fucking love it. But yeah, it's an awesome game, and that's not a next gen game.
No, it's
that
not.
came out on the 360.
Right.
And there's all these prospects. Even when I see the trailer, like I'll see trailers for games like fucking Assassin's Creed. You know, you might see that and you might go, yeah, I'll get that.
Good.
But I wasn't interested in it.
No.
I was thought I'll maybe play it, but I'll wait weeks before I decide to go and get it.
Aye.
But whereas the South Park game, I watched all the trailers for it, and
Fucking cats. Ow! Ow! She fucking just scratched my head.
yeah, she's quite scratchy.
She's never
Scratchy Cat. That's another one. Scratchy Cat.
Is that one of their games?
That's another game. No,
Meow.
that's what I'm making up now.
Scratchy
Scratchy
Cat.
Cat. Shit, I shouldn't have mentioned that on air. Someone else is going to make that, and they're going to make loads of money. So,
It's fucking scratchy cat.
anyway, we sort of got off topic there, Ryan. What were we talking about?
I don't know, but the games were more enjoyable.
Yeah, that's it. It's weird. Like it's this new sort of thing that's coming. That
You get Angry Birds in that. They release them on the like the consoles now as well. Like you can buy Angry Birds for your 360.
yeah. See, I think that's the wrong move because I think there's
But folk will buy into it. Do you know what I mean? You're like, what a fucking waste of a game.
Yeah, but now you get like Angry Birds Jenga, where you build Jenga and instead of trying to poke the pieces out, you fire birds from a catapult.
Yeah.
But they try and knock it down.
Yeah, they'll
Wow.
make
A
toys.
real life game.
Yeah. They'll make toys off it that will sell, but as far as porting it to the Xbox or the PlayStation, I think it's a kind of a slightly bad idea because I think there's two general markets for gamers. There's pure gamers, which will go out and buy, Xbox and PS4 and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And then there's like the general public of gamers, that they're the people that went out
That's
and
their
bought
bread
the
and
Wii.
butter.
Well, yeah, they went out and bought the Wii and all this stuff. These are people like your friend's mum, who she'll sit and play Angry Birds, but she's not turning on the fucking Xbox.
No.
So there's a separate thing, and this is what's fascinating to me is it seems like the people that are making the really simplistic games, they're kind of soaring with Angry Birds, Flappy Birds,
Soaring.
all these. Yeah,
Was that
See?
deliberate?
I think it was subconscious, but
Kind of like Minecraft as well, though, because they've released Minecraft on the PS3 and the
Yeah.
Xbox 360 now, because they know that more kids will play it.
well,
'Cause
that's it.
more-
Minecraft caters to that other generation, that other side of it, because they're like, although it looks simplistic, Minecraft's a proper like.
It's a proper game.
I think it's like a pure gamer type of game where
Aye.
you want to spend hours on end
You
playing
can.
your game, whereas
But it's easy to pick up and play at the same time, I think.
I mean I've not really played it, so I don't know, but
I had it on my phone. It was quite easy to pick up and play. I know you can get it on the consoles, but I think it's like mainly a PC game, or it was originally.
PC, and it's good in the PC because you get all the texture packs and stuff, which
also you can make it look proper good.
yeah, because like the standard graphics are like no brilliant. but
Yeah,
you-
yeah. I
people have
think
made
that's
modern-
almost like part of its appeal, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean even the toys they're bringing out are still in that block format, so
Right, that's us 3 minutes over. We're gonna have to end it there. I
Fucking
think.
hell, Ryan.
such a time Nazi.
I know.
I know.
Time Nazi.
Damn Nazis. Nazis from the past.
What the fuck? We're gonna. No,
I
no,
watched
no.
the new Transformers trailer today for the new Transformers film.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. We can't talk about the new
was good.
Transformers film.
We'll talk about it next week in
Yeah.
EDL and everything. Right.
Right, Ryan. I'm not even gonna hang up on you. I'm just gonna let you say our catchphrase. Which what is it again?
If we can't remember it, how's Ryan going to remember it? Number
Hold
one fan.
on. Don't say it, Paul. I want to see if Ryan knows what our outro catchphrase is when we're signing off. Are you there? Are you there, Ryan?
He's faked his own death.
He's
He's
faked
faked
his
his
own
own
death.
death. You fucking bastard, Ryan.
I think he maybe misinterpreted and thought that I was gonna hang up on him.
But we didn't say bye.
No, in fact, he might. I don't know. It might have
he's
just been a
faked his
mistake.
own death.
Right,
Right.
whatever. He didn't know what it was, so he hung up. He couldn't take the pressure. It's only natural.
Pressure
Don't blame Ryan
pushing
Green for
down
doing
on
what he just did.
green.
Right, gonna end it there.
Thanks
What
to
can we
everyone.
say?
Thanks
Thanks.
for everyone.
Yeah, well-
Was it 4?
I want to be more genuine than that. Like,
Well, if you've...
thanks everybody.
I was going to do a Daniel O'Donnell outro. Daniel O'Donnell. Well, if you've been watching tonight, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me and Sam tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Just take care.
I'm going to say one other thing as well, because we get hundreds of people, not hundreds. We get quite a considerable.
Literally 100.
Yeah, we get quite a few people watching this thing. But if you watch it all the way to the end and you're listening to this right now, this is a bit silly, but do us a little favour and click that little like button just so that we know how many people watched it to the end. Oh, that would be good
actually. I don't even look at the likes. And Facebook feedback as well is always good.
Yeah,
comments is always good as well.
Yeah, it gives us something. It lets us know how it's going, how the flow. If people are enjoying it, if you have any more criticisms, just like last week I had a little bit of criticism and I tried to address it this week. If you have any more where you're like, fucking that guy's talking about Muslims, what a fucking
he really fecked me off. He really fecked me off over the years.
In fact, one last thing, there's a stand-up comedian and it's just he's got this line about offending people, and it's so true. He goes like, if you're offended, nothing happens. It's all right. It's not like well, I went to see the comedian and I got offended, and when I woke up I had leprosy. No, nothing happens. So it's alright if you're offended, and it's alright if you're critical and whatever. You want to phone in or text in or message or blah 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 blah. Right, Jay, tell us, because we like all the feedback and we like to know how it goes. And blah, blah, blah. So, what's the sign off? Thanks for everyone. Till next week. Thanks for everyone.
Fuck off. Has it stopped? This is the bit where we think it stopped, but it's not. Surely stopped now, eh, Sam? Still counting down. That'll just be catching up, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going for a pee.
I'll stop the broadcast, but anyway.
I don't know what reason this guy went, white noise! And me and Frank fucking burst out laughing, and he was like, it took him a while, but he knew that we were laughing at him, and he didn't know what to do. White noise! Then fucking Frank's like,
was this before or after the get out now thing?
This was when Get Out Now was at its peak. Like, this was at the height of it.
Like, people are really not going to know what the fuck we're talking about.
I know.
You should maybe...
Some of them will know Frank, though.
Well, yeah, but we don't... I mean, this is a worldwide podcast here, Paul.
Right.
This is people from fucking Nigeria are listening to this. I don't know why I went with Nigeria, but... Okay. I don't know, Frank just... It was something our friend Frank used to do all the time.
Why were we saying Get Out Now?
I thought it was... Because I thought you did an Irish accent.
Oh, right.
And
but I'm like 3/4 Irish.
Oh, so it's alright for you to say it? Is
Well,
that what you're saying?
Maybe
I'm not allowed to say it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I do it. I don't think I've got an Irish accent.
No, I don't think you do. It was just...
Sorry, I've got a bit of chilli or something in my mouth. I had sweet chilli sauce there, and I can feel a bit of chilli on my tongue.
I've been eating a lot of sweet chilli sauce recently, actually, because I found a new easy meal that I've been making.
What is it?
I make noodles now.
With sweet chilli sauce?
It's like making a stir fry, but without anything else. And I just... I like cook these noodles, and then I'll just like put sweet chilli sauce in it. And I have that like every day for my lunch. It's awesome. It never gets boring.
Just put some meat in it or something, Sam.
Nah,
What about, like, salmon or something,
it's
like
fine the way
a
it
penny
is.
fish?
It's I don't want to touch it. I don't want to fix what ain't broken, Paul. That's another thing as well. See the way I just said that there? I don't want to fix what ain't broken. People might confuse that. That's not me talking how I'd usually talk, and people thinking that's that American thing he's like saying ain't like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing that in a jokey way, right? But it's weird that though, like that. Why
It's an
American
Americanism.
culture is such a big thing here, and like.
But it's funny because American culture came for us, like, because we went over there like in the olden days.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, it's a branching off kind of thing, but they developed their own,
fucking nuts.
sort of way of.
But you wonder how they ended up talking like that. Like, did we used to speak like that in the olden days, and our language changed?
Well, it's just like if you go to Glasgow, they'll have a different.
Aye.
It's like a twang.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Some
not going
folks
to
say to
attempt
me,
a
like,
Glasgow accent, but
that I've like folks say that like you're a Fifer, eh? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't think I've got. Like, I just think I'm like Scottish. Like, Glasgow's like, I know what you're talking about, man. Like, they've got a dead like, and it's really funny how they talk. Like, is that Glasgow?
I think so.
Aye.
My name's Jacqueline McCaffrey.
My name's Jacqueline McCaffrey.
And I've been on the heroin. No, is it? I've been off the heroin.
That's about 5 years. I lost 5 years of my life to the heroin and another 7 to the methadone trying to get off it. You're better at it than me, son.
Oh, Jacqueline McCaffrey. That's funny. That's Limmy's show. You know what's weird though? That guy from Limmy's show.
My name is Sam, and that's not all. I got a pretty good show with my good friend Paul. So listen up to the chairman of the board. I talk to him and he talks to me. We talk a lot of shit, but you get it for free. So don't complain, these gadgets cost a lot. So now we're at the end of the song, and everybody knows what's going on. So here we have the chairman of the, yes we have the chairman of the board. Because we're bored.
Well, I don't know if that fucking deafened anyone else, but that was horrific.
My heart was like that.
We're sort of playing around with trying to get the levels to work right. Even just now, it doesn't sound completely right.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, for some reason, it was really
loud.
I don't know what
Crackly.
the word is. Yeah, it was. It wasn't as good as it was the 1st week. So we're kind of playing it. Oh, hi, welcome to the chairman of the board. With your host, Sam Vallely.
And Paul Quigley.
You'd actually think that was rehearsed, wouldn't you?
It wasn't.
Right, I don't know what's going on. See, it sounds alright when I'm close to it, but then it just sounds really far away. I don't know, we'll try putting the volume up on the
We're on time this week, Sam. With the fucking carry on that we just had, we're actually on time. It's only 1 minute past 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we're on time. Well done, except we're fucking up the audio so much. This has been a nightmare.
Fucking up the dreams.
We almost didn't have a podcast this week.
No.
We came...
This was like the one that wasn't meant to be. This was like the... What was that boy called? Omen? What was that lad's name in The Omen?
Damien.
This is like the Damien of podcasts.
It's been just... Everything's been going wrong. It started off... I had to be somewhere today doing sound stuff, coincidentally, and ended up forgetting my mic stand. So we were like, what do? We don't have a mic stand. And this was only about an hour or something before just now. So it was like 8 o'clock. We were like, couldn't find the mic stand. And alright.
Good.
Our sound coordinator thinks it sounds fine. So
sound coordinator / stationary expert.
Hopefully it will. No, we can't go check.
Sorry, Hazel.
We'll take your word for it. If you're wrong, it'll be 10 lashes.
And a punishment exercise.
A punny. You'll be getting punnied.
You have to make a transcript of the show, and we'll sell it.
I don't know. I can't imagine anyone tuning into this requiring a transcript.
Well, Americans.
I don't know. Maybe it is too loud. It sounds a bit. I don't know. I'm going to put it down just slightly because it's not.
Thanks to Stephen Jewson for giving us the... That sounds quiet to me.
I'll put the headphones down a bit.
Alright, that's alright then, Sam. That's fine.
Shit,
thanks to Stephen Jewson for the spare mic stand.
Aye, Stephen Jewson, he saved the show. Much kudos, much...
That's what he said he wanted, kudos.
That's what he said he wanted. I don't know another word for kudos.
I don't even know what a kudos is. The only thing I know about it is it was on a racing game, Gotham Racing, and you got it for doing a skid. So
that's what kudos is.
So we need to go and do a skid for him or something?
Oh, I'm really bad at skids. Like on our knees.
On a what?
On our knees.
I used to be able to do them. I can't do a skid in the car. I used to do a good one on the bike. See if it was snowing. Oh, fucking should have seen me, Sam. Skid master. But after the fart jars last week, there could be some skid marks. Oh.
Right, aye, what else happened? Trying to set this shit up is not easy when you've got a computer that just takes about 10 minutes to load a web page. Like,
it sounded like a helicopter last week, Sam. It sounded like somebody was fucking hoovering next to us.
Yeah, the sound last week, I think that was partially my fault though, because I wanted it to be louder. I was like, what's that? I want more of that, and it just ended up fucking up the show. But it's audible. Like, you're able to sit and listen to it.
Definitely you can. I looked through it, but it just sounded. It wasn't crisp in that, but it was.
I think what we'll do is when we get a really good setting on this mixer, because that's another thing as well. we are not like sound engineers, you know. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just like, maybe try that one. Maybe that'll work. But no. So then we're going to take a picture of the. This sounds ridiculous, but we'll take a picture of the mixer when it's perfect. And then
why did we just pour glue on it?
When we get it to then we can't use it for anything else. What happens if one day we want that crackle? That crackle's gone.
I don't know. What if we need to sound old fashioned?
What? It doesn't sound old fashioned. I didn't hear it last week and sound. That sounds really old fashioned. I thought that sounded shit. That sounds really bad.
What are they playing at?
What's going on? These guys trying to have a podcast, they don't even know how to turn the volume up on a microphone.
What picture did we use this week, Sam, at the start? Did we use the old one or the Hannah Ford one?
No, we used the Hannah Ford one. That's the new one. That's the official.
Is it? Oh, wow.
I think so, anyway.
That's big kudos to Hannah Ford as well. We need to come and do a skid for her.
But we gave her kudos last week.
You sound a little bit further away than Paul.
I was thinking that as well. Apparently I sound a little bit further away than Paul. I was thinking that. I'll tell you what.
Is your mic on?
I don't know.
It is on. I can see a red dot.
It is on, but
that means it's
that
on.
might be better. It sounds a little bit better. But see, the thing is, my volume's already higher than yours, so I don't want to put it up any more, because then it just looks like I'm being
sound okay to me through my ears,
egotistical.
Sam. I mean, it sounds fine to me.
That sounds a bit better.
Full stop.
Full stop. Thanks very much.
It's weird how in America they don't have a full stop; they have a period, and that's what they have, and that's the end of that. Period. And I was like, see, when I used to watch American telly, I was like, period. So is it like only for like that's the end of that for a little while, or like I didn't know what it meant, but it's period. It's like full stop.
I know what
crazy
you mean.
Americans.
It's confusing. Grown up in the UK, fed all these American TV shows, and we grew up thinking that's life. You know, I thought high school was going to be just like Saved by the Bell, and it wasn't.
Aye, I remember. I never watched Saved by the Bell. I watched someone and they were in Paris or something, and that was fucking. I quite enjoyed it, but I don't really remember if it was actually any good.
See, I want to say that it got worse as it went on.
Saved by the Bell.
But that sounds like an easy thing to say. I don't know if I actually watched much of it as it went on.
I remember that guy with the curly hair. What was his name? Zeke or Zeke? Screech. He went bankrupt or something, did he not? I don't look like him, Sam.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that, and then I thought I'm not going to say that. That's because you don't actually look that much like him. You've got a little bit of the haircut.
I've got curly hair, and that's about it. He had tight curls.
You've got squiggles. You should patent that.
Patent.
That's another American. I don't know which one's which
Patent.
now. Is the patent American one or is the patent American one?
Patent.
I
I don't know. I think it's just that pronunciation.
I don't know what's going on. I am sounding quite a bit further away. Oh, one sec. Was that fucking about with the gain? How's that? That's.
Oh, I turned that down. Or you got to do it again.
That's a bit better.
I can hear like more background noise when you did.
Oh,
oh no, it's the computer, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, like everyone's probably getting fucking pissed off just now because we're like we should
We're
have
just
this shit
talking-
set
I
up.
know. But it's a rush.
Apologies. Yeah, this right. That's it. No more fucking about the sound unless someone emails in and tells us it's really bad.
Unless a bee comes and I spill my pint over it, and then we need
Well, just the bee in general would fuck it up because then we'd have this hum.
to.
And what were we talking about? Screech, Saved by the Bell. I don't know if people want us to talk about
I never
that.
really watched it, Sam. I don't have much to say on it.
Do you know what? Actually, I was watching a thing the other day. I was showing my friend, and so like brought up. I hadn't seen it in a while. It was Stephen Fry talking about this weird thing that Americans do that we do, and I do as well.
What?
And it's when you sort of it's a way of talking, and it's when you you go high at the end of every question. As if
what?
Oh, sorry, not every question. It's as if everything's a question, but you go high at the end of every sentence.
Right, aye.
And it sounds like you're asking a question, and supposedly it's like a weird defense mechanism, so that if you're somehow shown to be wrong, it's all right because you weren't stating anything, you know. And so there's this weird thing that we kind of don't have much authority in our voice, and it's not that Americans don't or anything like that. It's just it seems to be an American thing that we've picked up from American culture, watching TV shows where everything.
Oh right, aye. So
Well,
it's like a recent thing then.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, the typical American teenager in high school. My name's Mindy, and I'm a cheerleader, and it's all like hi.
So she's in her head. She's like, "Is my name Mindy? Am I a cheerleader?"
Well, no, I mean, but that's it. We're sort of now taking it as you know, that way of talking is just kind of normal now. But it is a weird sort of unauthoritarian way of talking, and it's something to do with being a weird sort of defense mechanism, so that if I ever say something that I'm unsure about, it's all right because I wasn't saying it as a statement, you know. And you know what? I'm bad for it. I do it myself, and I don't know how much I actually do the going high at the end, but I know I'm bad.
I feel like I'm just listening to the pattern of your voice now, Sam. I don't even feel like I know what you're saying.
Well, if I do it, tell me, because if I do it, I'm sure I do it, but I must do it so much that I don't realise that I'm doing it. And but I've got a weird thing as well, where that's not a weird thing; it's people do it, but I'm sort of always I always say supposedly and, you know, apparently, and like I can't just you know, because I'm so thingied about someone knows better than me, so they're going to be like, you said this, and how dare you say this? That's bullshit. And so I do this weird fucking thing where I come across as if I don't have any confidence in what I'm saying, and like I do have a lot of confidence in what I'm saying. Like I usually know what I'm talking about. Like 90% of the time, I know the fucking shit that I'm talking about. And I'm not just sort of spitballing. Yet there's also a side to it as well of like I'm kind of open to being proven wrong about anything. Anything I've got an opinion on, I'm completely accepting that I could be proven wrong. So that's why I'm always sort of like, well, supposedly, did you hear about this? Allegedly, but I need to watch myself back, and I'm like, I need to stop doing that. I need to just say this fucking happened. Deal with it.
See, I feel like I do the opposite things, because I'll be like, I heard this thing when this happened, and then I find out when I come across that I know a lot about it, that I don't really know a lot about it, and then I'm like, what else? There should be more to that. And then I turn out I don't really know a lot about what it is. But then I go on all guns blazing and pretend like I know it, but then I'm like, fuck, I don't know. What am I talking about?
You're like the yin to my yang, Paul. This is why it's a good dynamic.
That's how it works.
Woo!
You don't know what you're talking about, but you admit it, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm adamant that I do.
I don't know, you kind of sounded like you had a bit of an Irish accent there.
Well,
you don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're fucking talking about. That was terrible.
I thought, well, it was.
Get out now.
Get out now.
Get out. Are you out yet? Well, fucking get out then.
What was that story about the get out now?
Get out now.
Was it not Frank?
It came
or
from me and
something?
Frank when we were in the flat.
Something to do with being on a chat room or something.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure Frank told me this. I might be wrong here. Allegedly, supposedly.
Maybe Alan Smart could have been involved with it. For some reason, because the
how do you
chat
pronounce Alan Smart again? Nah, I don't like it. See, you want to do it, but you know the pain that it brings. Right? Okay.
That was rough, Sam.
I just lost my marbles there for a second.
There was a night we were out in the pub, and me and Frank were with some guy. Like, the guy was in our group, and this guy was from Northern Ireland, and me and Frank were sitting in a wee corner, and for some, like, me and Frank had also said like, white noise, like that was how to do it.
White noise.
White noise.
That sounded fucking.
And that was like a Northern Irish accent.